is up, everybody? My name is Maddie. You're listening to the No Nerds Were Harmed podcast. This is a podcast about movies, comics, games, and all things nerdy. Here with my co-host Tyler. We're also here with our producer Sam.
What's up?
Tyler, tell everyone what we got for them today.
We're gonna jump into Jurassic World Dominion.
Jurassic World Dominion,
The
yes.
new one just came out.
Did. We're going to do this is a normal episode, so we're going to do some nerd news for you guys. We're going to jump into Jurassic World Dominion. We're going to have a spoiler-free section, and I was double-checked on my spoiler-free review. So we're going to get into that. We're going to have spoilers. We're going to have our final thoughts on it. We're going to tell you what we've been reading, what we've been playing, what we've been watching, and then we're going to tell you what's on the next episode. So let's get into some nerd news. You want me to start it off, Tyler,
Yeah,
since I got more than you?
Yeah, go for it.
All right. So this first piece that I have was something that I didn't know, and apparently a lot of people knew about, was there's going to be a Twisted Metal show.
Oh, yeah. That's been in the works for a while, but they're finally starting to, execute things on it. Seems like it's going to actually happen.
That's kind of exciting. It's a video game piece. Obviously, for some people who don't know, Twisted Metal is a video game, PlayStation, and it's one of those things that it was one of the first games that people really got into, I think.
It's a big, multiplayer type game, because it's just Battle Royale, car type situations, and then Twisted Metal Black was dope.
Yes.
And it had, actual dark storylines.
PS2, yeah.
Very, very cool. Unfortunately, the games do not hold up well at all in today's age. I just played Twisted Metal Black not too long ago. They have it on the PlayStation Store. You can download it still.
Nice.
Yeah, it's bad.
But no.
It's bad. It's one of those where you go back and
Not
watch one of those
nice.
shows from your childhood where you find an old cartoon and watch it and you're like, damn, that was a bad idea.
Oh,
Yeah,
man.
it sucks. But it's a great concept for a show.
Yeah.
It's cool. I think it's gonna be a lot like a death race or something like that. You know what I mean? So I'm fucking down, and it's a great cast of characters.
It is. So this is Anthony Mackie's one of his
Yeah, it
passion
seems like
projects,
he's
right?
kind of I don't know if he was the original one that kind of started all, but I think he's been the big A-list star that's taking it on now.
Okay.
He really wants to do it. So I'd imagine it's kind of his passion thing at this point.
This is going to be a show that's on Peacock as of now, and they've said that Will Arnett is going to be doing the voice of Sweet Tooth,
Interesting.
which Sweet Tooth is
Which originally
clown.
I thought that Anthony Mackie was supposed to play Sweet Tooth.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, I'm really excited to see what's going to happen.
Thomas Hayden Church is attached to it.
Okay.
So is Nev Campbell.
Interesting.
And then this is from the writers of Cobra Kai. And you
Yeah,
don't
I saw
watch.
that.
I don't know if you watch Cobra
I
Kai.
have not, but I hear nothing but good things.
Sam and I watch Cobra Kai, and we fucking love Cobra Kai. So if they're going to be doing some good shit like they do with Cobra Kai,
It's cheesy, but it's good cheesy.
yeah, I'm excited.
Yeah,
for it.
and that's kind of this show could go really, really good or really, really bad. I will
mean,
say that thing. So
yeah.
we'll see what kind of budget they get for it, because it's kind of hard to do this without either A, good special effects, or B, tons of crazy stunts. So
like you said, if they do,
gonna be interesting.
if they go the route of a death race thing, but give us some depth to an episode of character,
right,
some background,
right.
it might make it pretty cool.
You're right. It may not be as much actual deathmatch racing as it is. It could be a lot of backstory bullshit.
Yeah, which I'm cool with.
Yeah. No,
Give
we'll
me some good character driven shit. I'm cool with that.
We'll see.
I'm going to do the second piece because it also
Yeah.
involves somebody who it involves Nev Campbell, and this is Scream 6. I'm not sure if you heard anything about this, but Nev Campbell has dropped out of the making of Scream 6.
Yeah.
Apparently they gave her an offer, and she said it didn't equate to the value of what her character and how she brought the character to life, which I understand.
Yeah.
And a lot of her cast members from Scream are backing her up, like Matthew Lillard and Jamie Foxx
Yeah.
are like, yeah, fuck. Why shouldn't she get?
Well,
a
it's
good
it's
payday?
coming down to a lot of some of the male castmates may have made more than her too, and things like that, where it's one of those issues where you're seeing that a lot more in movies nowadays, where females aren't taking a fucking pay bump just because they're female, which they shouldn't. So,
No.
especially someone like that who she's been
She's the final
She's
girl.
the main character.
that's what I'm
pretty
saying,
much.
and
Yeah.
she has fucking grew that franchise where that's I saw what Matt Lillard said, and it's he's completely right.
Yeah.
Because it's bullshit. And the franchise will suffer for it, and it'll be one of those things they wish they could have done different. and then they'll either pay her triple on the next one after this one fucking flops, or she's not going to come back, and it's just going to be one of those things. You know what I mean?
I hope she just sticks to her guns and never comes
we'll
back.
see. It's just
Everyone's
that's
got
that
a price.
bullshit. That's how that shit happens. Yeah, but that is true too.
Yeah.
It's just
There's enough Scream movies in this world. Just stop.
They should have
Can
stopped it too, but
can Scream afford that price? That's the question. So
we'll find out.
yeah, it's kind of sad, but
It is.
it's part of the business. Shit happens.
Yep.
Netflix announced that Squid Game Season 2 is officially renewed, which we all kind of figured was happening and heard rumors of, but the director came out today, and it was kind of a cool message. It was like the first season of Squid Game took 10 years to make and like 10 days to become the most watched thing on Netflix, and now we're going to do Season 2, and then it said, you know, he gave a couple insights into new characters or returning characters and things like that, and just said that they're moving forward, and it's a big announcement. So I was a big fan of Squid Game.
I was going to say, are you excited for that?
Yeah, oh, really? I am. I like, it's one of those things where it's like, okay, this could turn into something stupid really quickly, because I really like the message of the first one and kind of like the mental dynamics of it all, not so much the like gore porn aspect of it. And I don't know. I think I will give them the second season to show me what they want to do with it, but it's got to be something new in a way. You know what I mean? Because if they just rinse and repeat with new like torture games, it's not going to be the same.
Yeah, I agree, because we watched the first season, and I liked the first season, but when the first season ended, and like I'm trying to avoid spoilers, but when the first season ended and I had seen that they left it open for a second season, I think I audibly went, "Fuck that!" Like I'm sick of shows that need to have a second season. I'm cool with just one season. And one season of just good characters, a good ending, good story. I'm cool with that. I don't need a second season. This was one of those shows that I was like, I don't need a second season.
Yeah, I agree with that.
And I'm going to give them like you said, I'm going to give them the second season. I'm going to watch it.
The show was intelligent enough that makes me want to see what this guy's second season is.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like it was the deep cut commentary and a lot of like what they were saying but not saying kind of bullshit in the movie like was intelligent, or in the series wasn't intelligent enough where I don't think he is just going to rinse and repeat. Like there's got to be a reason.
Yeah, I fucking hope so.
I know the big reason's probably Netflix like, yo, can you do another season of this shit? You know,
Yeah.
Absolutely. But I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt, because I have no, you know, I really just want it to be good too, because I really did enjoy Squid Game.
It was
season
good.
1.
It was good.
Not for everyone, but I really liked it.
My story is actually another Netflix season 2, or that's given a season 2, which is All of Us Are Dead. I'm not sure if you watched that. Sam and I watched that.
I actually enjoyed this more than Squid Games.
I did as well. It's a zombie show that takes place in a high school, and these kids are surviving high school, but these zombies have a new element to them that we've never seen on screen before, where these zombie people can be infected with the zombie infection or zombie disease.
Some of the genetics basically evolve depending on your DNA, if you will. Like some humans can be turned, and then a few hours later go by, they wake up. This isn't really, too much of a spoiler, but it's like they still have memory.
Yeah.
Versus
they can't, they have all their, they remember all this shit. They know how, they could fool people that they are not infected, and then go up and just bite them if they wanted to. So it's pretty cool. It's a new element to zombies that we've never seen before, but that got picked up for a second season. And this was another show that when it ended, I thought it ended beautifully. And I said, I fucking hope this doesn't get a second season. Yep. And now it's getting a second season.
Welcome to the new age of TV.
I'm like, son of a bitch.
Nothing dies.
I'm going to watch it because I did enjoy it, but it's another one of those things that I'm like, God damn it, I didn't need this.
A final season on Netflix that just came out, Peaky Blinders.
Okay.
Huge Peaky Blinders guy.
Oh, nice.
Love Peaky Blinders.
I did not watch it.
It's again, I'm not. It's not for everybody. But it's like gangster 1920 politics, like awesome.
That's what I thought. Isn't it more detective type?
Yeah, no. I mean, it's the early Peaky Blinders is like hardcore, like gangsters, like trying to build up and come up, and then they get more involved into politics as they grow and everything like that. But it's all set in Birmingham. and after World War One.
The cast is amazing in it.
Oh, dude, yeah. It's
How many seasons did it get? Do you know?
I want to say this is either 4 or 5.
Okay.
And this is the last season. This is the finale that came out. And it's been like 3 years, I want to say. So like it's been waiting for a long time, and it just launched. I haven't watched it yet because like I've been wanting.
Season 6.
Oh, okay, so I was wrong.
Wow.
So 6
ended April 3rd.
It's a show that I have to say, watch it with subtitles because they all have they all have crazy dialects, and it's a lot of like gypsies and things like that. So the things they're talking about is actually really, really cool, and really, you really get to see the characters and how smart they are in their own like way. But if you're not watching the subtitles, you miss like a lot of the important meat of the show just because of the dialect, because it's all a period piece, and B, like they're like in the ghettos of the UK and gypsy towns and shit like that. So it's fucking awesome. Cillian Murphy's a powerhouse.
Yeah?
It's in... Like,
he's always he's like the icon of that picture of the thumbnail of it on Netflix.
It's because, dude, Tommy Shelby is the baddest man on this planet. Like, 100, no, like, it's not even a question. It's awesome. Again, heavy drama. Like, it's not much of a pick-me-up. Like, there's things that are really awesome about it, but it's a drama, gangsters, badass show.
Okay.
I feel like anything with Cillian Murphy too, you can't help but stare at him. I don't know. There's something about his face.
No,
like
it's
every
the baby
role,
blues. Dude.
Yeah, man, every role he's in, you're just like, you are.
And he plays just like this, kind of like a psycho in a way of just like he's
And he's
the brother of just like he's the one in charge, you know, like he's the one that he's the smartest, he's the strongest, he
has great bad guy face.
Yeah, he's awesome. He's like an anti-hero because the show...
I was going to say...
It's one of those things where, like, the show's all from the perspective of the Peaky Blinders, so obviously you're rooting for the gang.
Okay.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, you hate the cops in the show, you know? But if you really are looking at it, like, they're a gang betting on horses, and, you know, they're really bad people, but it's from their perspective.
But
it's
they're
like the
my
Sopranos,
friends.
you know what I mean? It's like you're going to be on their side. You know?
Okay.
So.
Nice.
Yeah, so just released. It's out now. Go watch.
Nice.
Yeah. So, something that has a trailer that came out that I'm super excited for, which I guess I don't need to be that excited for. Prey. Have you seen this?
Dude, I'm very excited for this because I'm a big Predator guy. I like Predator.
So Prey is a prequel to Predator.
It's a great concept.
It's an amazing concept.
Instead of beating like a dead horse, kind of just doing the same thing over and over and over, Alien vs Predator and all that shit. They did all that. This is a great
Yeah.
I hope they don't do too much with it. They don't have to go crazy to make this good. So we'll see.
This is the show is called Prey. It is a Predator prequel. It's a Hulu original, and this comes out August 5th. And the director...
Is it a show or a movie?
It's a show.
Oh, I thought it was a movie.
Oh, fuck. Sam?
Let's see.
Double check that.
I think so. Oh.
So I did look up the director, so maybe it is... Either it has one director for every episode, or it's a movie. Okay. But Dan Trachtenberg is the director. And I don't know that name off the top of my head, but I looked up some of the things he is. And he did 10 Cloverfield Lane, which I enjoyed.
Movie.
Yeah.
It's the one with John Goodman, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
He directed the very first episode of The Boys.
Okay.
And then he directed an episode of Black Mirror. It's the episode with...
Yes, it is going to be a movie.
Yeah,
okay. Nice. Right. So it's a movie.
So
and,
when does that release?
August 5th.
So there you go.
And it's going to have an option, which I think is great for it's a tribe that's being hunted by the Predator in the past, and it's the Comanche tribe. And I like that they're going to have an option that you could watch it in English, but they also have it in the Comanche language.
Oh, cool.
So you can watch it with subtitles, which I think is more accurate. So I'm definitely going to watch the subtitle version with
I watched Squid Game with subtitles, I think.
Yeah. So I think it looks fucking awesome. I think the trailer was exciting, and I do like Predator. I don't know too much of Predator lore. I know there's multiple Predators and shit, but this is something that excites me, and I wanted to share it with everybody else so that they know.
Yeah, no, that's a good one. I'm excited for it. I think the trailer actually is really cool.
Yeah,
because it doesn't show a lot, doesn't show much of anything. It's a very teaserish, and them just weighing on the things of you don't see Predator, you see the 3 dots. You know what I mean? It's if you know Predator, you know what this movie is, kind of thing. So I wish it the best of luck. I'm very excited for it. So
August 5th, Hulu original, guys.
We're just gonna get into it. We're gonna bring back the reoccurring guest of this show that it seems at the moment, Ezra Miller.
Yes.
This guy, again, I don't like getting into so much gossip and all that, but this guy cannot help himself. It's insane. So currently, right now, he's well, the studios got together after the
Amber Heard.
The incident that we had talked about.
Yes.
And basically, they still said they were going to back him and everything, and that he was like stateside now, and that he was good to go, and that they had long conversations, and everything was gravy. He's supposed to be okay. Flash forward to now.
No.
Yeah, flash forward to now. Parents of a 18-year-old girl have filed a restraining order against him, and a possible, I guess, it's maybe not the correct way to term it, but the easiest way to explain it is basically they're trying to get him for grooming.
Yeah.
Because he met this girl at a Dakota oil protest, because I believe her family's Native American.
Okay.
And because I think her mom's called she has a native a horse, sun horse or something like that.
Okay.
In her name, so I think they're all Native American, and they met at the tribal protest at the oil site in the Dakotas when the girl was 12, and so he had been kept in contact. So that's the thing, because she's 18 now, so it's so she legally can because right now the girl is with him and has been with him, and they can't contact her, and they think that he's kind of controlling her phone and only allows her one phone call a day.
I didn't hear that.
But at the same time too, every time that they have talked to her, she said she's fine and this is by her choice. But they're kind of, it's kind of like that R. Kelly weird, how the girls didn't feel like they were there by themselves, but they're kind of in a cult. You know what I mean? You're being manipulative, or manipulated into thinking it's a good situation or whatever. So the court has been trying to serve him this restraining order, and they currently cannot find Ezra Miller. He's MIA. They can't. And not again. It's not like they have a APB out for Ezra Miller, but they're he's trying to get served restraining papers, and they literally just can't catch.
I heard it was something with selling somebody underage drugs as well.
Well, that's the thing it's supposedly he's introduced her to
LSD
and
stuff like that,
and mushrooms and all these opening things, and she's saying she's on her mind, she's one with it's all this again, they're saying cult behavior of he's saying he's opening her mind, but he's really drugging her up, and you know what I mean. But they're traveling with Ezra's mom, I'm pretty sure. I think it's Ezra's mom, Ezra, and the girl. That was the last picture that was released. So it's just this this turn of events where it's the girl being 18 puts a big crux in it as far as PD just going to find this guy, because but it's the whole idea of how long has he been talking to her, what's been said since she was 12, because obviously he's kept in contact. So again, I can see if any of this is true, again, this all could just be blown crazy out of proportion. Yeah. Some pissed off parents because their girl's hanging out with Ezra Miller. That happens all the time in Hollywood, I'm sure. If any of this is slightly true, there's zero chance he's Flash going forward.
No.
If I'm DC, I'm possibly just fucking nuking that movie and just pretending it never happened. Sorry, Keaton, release that scene online, do a fucking Joker, Batman scene thing and make a big deal out of it. But I think if any of this is true, I don't think you spend the money to recast and reshoot. You damn sure can't release the movie.
No.
So you might as well just nuke the thing and call it what it is, because this shit's getting insane.
Yeah, DC's
they're in a pickle, dude.
With all the Amber Heard shit and all the Ezra Miller shit. It's Jesus Christ, man! You guys are gonna hang off of fucking what? Peacemaker and Black Adam and fucking...
You have a literal superhero staple. If there's 5 staple superheroes of DC, Flash is one of them, I'd say. And one of those dudes is possibly peddling drugs to underage kids.
Yeah.
Come on, dude.
Yeah, they're getting rid of it.
You know what I mean? So that, again, we'll keep you updated.
From what I see, though, she's defending him.
Oh, no, this is the whole... That's what I'm saying.
It could be influenced by him, though.
Because, at the end of the day, kids are dumb. We all
Well,
were.
no, that's that's what I'm saying, though. It's a lot of the... when that R. Kelly shit went down, when all the girls that were getting, there, they weren't saying anything, but then they would get out years later and realize, holy shit.
That was not okay.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And
that's not normal.
That's the shit that's going on, it seems like. And again, this could be a bunch of pissed off parents who are starting a witch hunt.
Yes,
I want to make that clear. I'm not trying to say... But
they do have some pretty kick-ass names, though. It's Chase Iron Eyes and Sarah Jumping Eagle.
Yeah, see,
that's fucking awesome.
You're gonna tell me you're gonna steal Chase Iron Eyes and Sarah
Jumping Eagle's
child? Are you out of your fucking mind?
They're coming for you, Ezra.
So like that's again. So I really do hope it's just some pissed off parents.
Yeah.
That's like actually the best situation. But
like
with his fucking track record in the last like 6 months, you can't rule anything out, and I think that's what's just absurd about all of this.
Like you said, they could just be riding off the coattails of the shit that's happened to him in the past, so they're trying to go after him. It's just like anything. When anyone's accused of anything, all of a sudden there's 5 more people that pile on the case. You know what I mean? In today's age, especially. But I don't know. It just seems like a very active thing, and the fact like he's kind of MIA and shit just is all just like it's just not looking good. It is unfortunate. So. I know we differ on this, but I do want to see the movie. So. And I know there's a part of you that wants to see
burn
it.
it all down.
Burn
it to the ground as quick as you can.
I'll eat my words, but I want to see this movie, and I gotta think that they might have something there in the back of my mind.
They still have that heroin needle so deep in your veins, dude. You need to take a stint in rehab, bro.
I have low hopes.
You need DC rehab.
I do want to see it, but we'll keep everybody posted on when Ezra fucks up again.
Yeah.
Tune in next time.
Yeah. So in the last episode, I talked about how John Watts dropped off of Fantastic Four,
correct,
and they announced at a Disney Star Wars convention that John Watts is picking up a show called Skeleton Crew for Disney Plus, which don't know anything about it, but we know what his next project is, and it's going to be Skeleton Crew. They also announced that Taika Waititi, who is behind Thor: Love and Thunder and Thor: Ragnarok,
everything in Hollywood right now,
is going to be jumping on to a Star Wars project.
He's supposed to be the one that's going to be the next Star Wars movie to see screen. Is supposed to be his.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's what I read.
Dope.
Could be wrong, but that's
that was just the fast thing.
The next movie to come to screen should be his. So
good.
Be interesting. I don't know. We'll see where Star Wars goes. It's getting so big at this point. It's we'll see.
It really is.
Okay.
On the Disney Plus train, I have 2 more stories for Disney Plus.
Mm-hmm.
Hocus Pocus 2 was announced.
Yep.
We're going to be getting that September 30th. That's all they said. September 30th. There's no trailer. There's no nothing. But I think that might be something that we end up covering in October. We'll see. I know one thing that we're covering in October, but I know there's 2 more things. So Hocus Pocus 2 might be one of those things. But September 30th, everybody. And then one that I know that Tyler likes. Not sure if you saw the trailer for it. The Baymax show.
I did not see the trailer, and I actually do that's not even a sarcastic thing by Maddie. No. I actually do fuck with Baymax
Dude,
quite a bit.
I fucking love Baymax.
Yep. Shout out Fat Man. Baymax his favorite character. He'll know who he is.
June 29th, we're going to be getting the Baymax show.
That's awesome. I'm excited.
This month, it looks super fun.
I think Big Hero 6 in general is just a really cool concept for a movie, and it's superheroes and all that shit. So I'm down with all that, and I think Baymax as a character is a funny, great character.
Fun.
So that's cool. I'm down for it.
Met him a couple times.
I'm sure you did.
I met him twice, and his when you meet him in his suit, his eyes blink and everything.
I'm sure.
It's fucking fantastic.
Squishy as fuck.
Oh yeah, you hug him. He's like an inflatable suited thing, but they make you take your I wear lanyards with pins, and they're like, you got to take that off. I'm like, makes sense.
Yeah.
But,
so you don't give some kid therapy. Yeah.
Please don't pop Baymax.
But it's super cool because when he walks and he goes away, he does the Baymax walk where he just waddles and he walks sideways through doors because he can't.
That's some kid that's fucking my roommate freshman year of college. That's what he does for the summer is fucking go be Baymax. That's what all those kids do in theater school. It's just go be characters for the summer.
It's wonderful.
Hell yeah, why not?
It is wonderful. What else you got?
I got a trailer talk.
Oh, let's do it.
Black Adam.
Black Adam? Okay.
Yeah.
Let's do it.
Do you want to go first or you want me to go first?
Okay, so I'll go first. Black Adam trailer came out this week. It looks larger than life because it's Dwayne Johnson. It doesn't.
The effects look good.
It doesn't look too exciting.
No,
though.
It looks bad.
And this is just the first trailer, so they could be keeping some things from us, but it doesn't look that great.
It doesn't look. It feels like a Venom, Morbius.
Yeah,
that's the.
He's an anti-hero.
He looks cool. The effects look awesome. I won't give that away, but it's just it feels super cheesy. It feels like a Marvel movie. It has Marvel feel to it almost, like not as much DC, but it still has that DC
darker
like
Marvel,
skin.
yeah.
It still has the DC skin of like being dark and that dark color palette that Zack Snyder kind of set the tone with and all that bullshit. But like the jokes and just like when he fucking uppercuts the dude and the dude like flies
into the water, like
Hancock does that with a 10-year-old kid and he makes it look badass and funny. This guy did it and it just like was stupid and like cheesy and like, okay, like we've seen that a million times. You know what I mean? It just there was a lot of just really like moments that was like
they're shoving the anti-hero down your throat too, because like Hawkman's in there and he's played by a great actor too. I can't remember his name off the top of my head, but he's a great actor.
No, yeah, the costumes alone look great.
And he says, "Oh, you know, heroes don't kill people." And then there's a long pause, and he's like, "I do." And you're like, "Come the fuck on, man."
Well, this is my problem, and I talked to you about this. The problem with these goddamn movies is they need to stop making solo anti-hero movies out of villains. It's not the anti-hero. Like, I get like a Deadpool or a Punisher or things like that. I'm talking about villains who end up being anti-heroes, which is like a Venom or a Black Adam in this case, in a sense. It's like that, but it takes time for those of being like apex villains to then become anti-heroes for that story to pay off. When you just start them as an anti-hero, it doesn't fucking work. And let alone, they're kind of B characters.
Yeah.
In a way. And so, like, you're just trying to kickstart all these things. And worst of it all is we've been hyping this Black Adam movie for 10 fucking years, man. Like, and now this is what you get. And it's like, okay. It's sad to say, but it's like...
It's Dwayne Johnson. You know, he's hyping all this shit up, and he always talks about how it's the best thing ever.
Yeah, but it just feels like it's not.
I'm going to watch it. I'm going to watch it. I feel like I'm more excited for this than I am... Flash, but only because I have such a hard-on for Dwayne Johnson. Like, Dwayne Johnson's my dude.
Yeah,
I would let him rock bottom me for sure. And
unfortunately, unless it says DC animation, I'm like, what kind of crap are they putting out now?
That's my problem. Is like, I'm really like, there's not much of DC that I'm like truly hyped about other than like when Batman came out and...
Batman, and then the animations are great. Animations are solid.
Now, while we're here, though, I mean, is that all you want to say about Black Adam?
Yeah, I mean, I'm excited to see it. Not excited to see it, but I'm gonna see it.
I'm gonna go watch it.
Yeah, that's about it.
While we're talking Batman real quick.
I know what you're gonna hit.
Yeah, because I just thought of it, and I didn't know if you left it off your list because you're not a huge fan. Oh, you are? Okay. I'm personally excited. They're starting on Joker 2.
You look giddy.
They're starting on Joker 2.
You look giddy right now.
Yeah, I am. And it's weird because like I wasn't in love with the first Joker, but I really did like the character at the end. And I remember walking out, turning to Jordan, and I was like, okay, now I want to see Joker 3 years from now. Like, now I want to see him in the role. Like, we got the backstory. Now I want to see a movie where he's taken the mantle, sort of say.
Yeah.
So, yeah, Todd Phillips.
He tweeted it, right? He tweeted
a
photo
of Joaquin reading something with a cigarette.
Yeah.
And then he tweeted the leather, which is so fucking badass, by the way. Like, I hope the red directors are
leather.
sending me fucking leather-bound scripts of like, yo, we're gonna do a different one. And it's Joker 2. Do you have the title?
Folie à Deux?
Yeah, Folie à Deux, which is interesting.
Yeah, I can't remember what Folie à Deux translates to. Can you look that up? Folie à Deux.
I was gonna say Jordan.
It's like story of two or some shit.
Yeah,
or something
like,
of two.
It's like someone being similar. Like it's basically like mirroring another like person, and it's very like, is there another Joker? Is it three?
Probably the best Fall Out Boy album, but it's also
yes.
It is also an identical or similar mental disorder affecting two or more individuals, usually the members of a close family.
Yeah. So it's like one of those, like, are they going to do like multiple Joker storyline? Is it going to be the whole, are we going to get the Batman Bruce Wayne thing because of the first Joker, and they had that big, his obsession with he's related to the Waynes and all that. So it's one of those, like, I'm excited that it officially got a green light, and I want to see what they're going to do with it. Because, again, I don't think, like, they were also, like, we're not doing a sequel from the beginning. That the fact they're doing a sequel, A, they made a fuck ton of money, but B, I truly don't think you get Joaquin back unless he, like, is down for this.
Yes.
I think.
I mean, he's made some stinkers, but I gotta think that
Phillips,
at this point,
but I don't think he's like a sequel guy. That's the big thing.
Okay,
he's a very artsy,
okay.
like, do the one thing and be done with it. So like the fact he's coming back for a sequel and redoing a character, and the fact he was so staunch, like, I'm not doing a second, I'm not getting in a bunch of these movies, like, you gotta have something that's making him want to come back to the table. So I have high hopes. I hope.
And it's like, for the record, I don't hate Joker
Correct,
movie.
yeah.
Like, Tyler almost made it seem like I was fucking so against this.
No, you.
But
Yeah.
I like the Joker. I love the Joker as a character. I think he's a great character. I think the first Joker movie is very well made. I love the sets. The story of it is good. I think it's 20 minutes too long. I think it's too long of a movie where you just completely shit on a guy, and then in the next scene you're shitting on him again, and then, hey, we got 4 more scenes of where we're shitting on this guy. It kind of got old for me, and I didn't need to see that many times that shit keeps going bad for him to know that, okay, he's turning into the Joker now. Yeah. I do like it. I'm excited for a second one as well.
Yeah, it's just a difference of like just having a difference of opinion of like the content.
Yeah,
like, and that's nothing against the movie, and like everyone has that with certain movies.
Yeah,
where
I do want to see it. Yeah, I am excited for it.
It'll be cool.
Yeah, Joker fully do. They didn't release a date. They didn't say when we're going to production or anything. But yeah, so that's going to be coming out soon. On terms of Joker, I'm going to switch over to a Batman thing. So have you, I don't know where Tim Burton did this interview, but have you seen this quote from Tim Burton?
Possibly.
Okay, so Tim Burton had a response to his dark tones to DC, like the studio, to his tones toward Batman Returns. And this is his quote. He said, "You complain about me, I'm too weird, I'm too dark, and then you put nipples on the costume, go fuck yourself." And I was like, oh, wow. Way to go, Tim Burton.
Yeah, dude. Well, Tim Burton don't play that shit.
I guess not. But
you knew he was pissed how all that went down.
There's nothing more than that. I didn't have anything. I don't know what the fucking context of this interview was.
Well,
that he was
fucked
in,
him. I think they fucked him out of his third movie. That's the thing. Like, he wanted to do 3. He always was going to do the third one, and then like it was difference of this and that, and I think it just went south. And then you saw it. Schumacher got a hold of that fucker, and you know, if you're a Tim Burton guy, you don't like that. You know, you don't like how that went down. You know what I mean? So yeah, I think seeing this, I was like, yeah, 100%. You know what I mean? Like, I love seeing it.
I laughed out loud when I read it. But
this shocks me 0.
See, I don't know what he was promoting. I don't know why he was being interviewed. I don't know why
one and someone threw him a fucking softball, and he just was like, fuck, it's been enough time.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna go.
Been what, fucking 30 years?
Yeah.
No, yeah. About 29 years since Batman Returns now. That's all I had on that. I have 2 more stories. I don't know where you're at, but I got 2 more things. Okay.
All you.
So this was released within the last 2 days. Spider-Man. Have you seen this new cut that's coming out? Or heard of this?
Yeah.
It sounds very cheap, but it's Spider-Man No Way Home, the more fun stuff version. And that's coming out September 2nd.
Yeah, I saw that.
Back in the theater.
It was one of those where I saw it and I was like, okay, I don't know what the fuck this shit. That shit's all weird to me. I'm old school where like I don't like all the tons of different cuts and things like that. Like director's cut, cool. DVD deleted scenes or things like that.
Yeah,
cool. Commentary, love it. But I don't need this cut, that cut. Here's
you don't
the
want
same
the 4-hour Snyder cut of Spider-Man?
Here's the movie with this scene, one scene added into it. Like, no, just give me the scene on the side, and I'll put it in my mind.
Yeah,
like that's
if they're gonna tell me, hey, you know what, we're actually gonna give you like 20 more minutes or 30 more minutes, then I'm like, okay, that's a lot of movie to be giving me.
That could change the movie.
I could have just taken it as deleted scenes, like you had said, but if you tell me I'm getting 20 or 30 more minutes, I might be slightly more enticed to say, okay, you know what, I'm gonna put some time into this. I'm gonna put money again into this movie to see it.
It's weird though. I don't
Not
know.
Money.
Like I get
it's
when like
crazy.
I get like when like something like Deadpool does it when they're like we're gonna do a PG-13 version because they're gonna make money and shit like that. But like something where you're ready, like this just seems like a cash grab and it makes me mad.
It does.
It's just like okay, I guess
it does.
Because, like, being from, like, the movie industry, like, whenever you shoot a movie, you got enough footage to make 3 movies. Let me tell you that right now. So any movie you see that comes out can be cut into 3 or 4 different movies. You know what I mean? So it's like the idea of, like, let's just keep cranking out movies with this scene and that scene.
There's
a
multiverse of every movie.
You can do this with every single movie. There's pages that get cut. There are scenes that get cut. It's the way you cut movies make it a completely different movie. Mm-hmm. So it's just like this shit just I guess irks me because like I'm just like it's a thin line for me where it's like this shit can get out of control really quick, and it still just seems to be getting more and more out of control.
It is.
But I mean, if you're like a huge Spider-Man fan, I'm sure some people are stoked about this. I mean, I'm sure I'll check it out, but they're not getting money on me for this shit.
And it's like, so last week I actually rewatched, this wasn't my first time watching it, but I watched X-Men Days of Future Past, the Rogue cut. I don't know if you've seen the Rogue cut of it.
I don't know. It's probably been a minute if I have.
So Rogue is in this movie, and it does address a lot of things in the movie that make it different, and they add probably 15 to 20 minutes more of the film. I actually prefer the Rogue cut now. I forgot how good it was, but this is something that if it adds, like I said, 15, 20, 30 minutes, I'm on board for it. But I got to think that they're making this movie too. So it's the 60th anniversary of Spider-Man and the 20-year anniversary since the first movie came out. So I think they're going off of that hype as well.
They feel like they need to.
What do you mean? They just fucking put out a giant Spider-Man movie a month ago. It just went out.
It came out in 2021 though.
These people are ridiculous.
So now they want to get it out in the 60th anniversary. That's my part on Spider-Man. This next story is something that might have to do with gamers. Do you drink Mountain Dew?
I mean,
I feel like it's a gamer thing.
I think it was a gamer thing back in the day before like energy drinks.
Everyone's really, like, "Oh, fucking
that's
Code
true.
You know what I mean?"
Now
like,
everybody's
yeah,
got like
it was Code Red. It was Code.
What's
the orange was Livewire.
That's what it was. Yeah,
Livewire, and like I think Code Red was the original like energy drink for kids. I think you know what I mean. Like you knew like there was Mountain Dew, but then when you had Code Red, it was like, oh, we're getting into like we're Halo Land partying tonight. Like the boys we're ready to go. And it still has that effect. Like I think it's just like the chemistry of your brain. When I grab a Code Red, I'm like, I'm gonna be up for days. And like it's a regular pop. I drink pop all the time. But I think it's like in my head that it's like this is like a super energy drink.
And people go nuts for fucking like the Baja Blast from Taco Bell.
I was addicted to Baja Blast.
I don't like it.
For a while.
I don't like it either.
On record.
I only liked it when it came out of the fountain at Taco Bell. Though. So I was at Taco
McDonald's
Bell
Coke,
way too
unrivaled.
much.
And I mean, I don't like Mountain Dew anyways, but I thought this was a funny
Mountain Dew.
So they're releasing flavors. Some of them are super weird. I want to know if you
they
drink
do
any
this
of them.
like every 3 years. They release like a new mystery flavor for like a week. No one buys it, and then you never hear about it.
I know that there's a flaming hot flavor right now, and I haven't tried it. I'd like to try it.
Ew.
So they're gonna have pickle.
Ew.
Do you like pickles anyways?
No, I don't.
Okay, then fuck you. Elderberry.
I don't either.
I don't know what
that is, but I guess if it's berry, I guess I'd try it.
It's something that the holistic community likes. I think elderberry.
So.
Yeah.
They're gonna have huckleberry. Don't know the difference between elderberry and huckleberry.
It just sounds, if it's berry, I just assume it's gonna taste what berry tastes like.
They're gonna have apple cinnamon.
See, like that doesn't sound like a terrible drink, but like, do you want that in pop form?
No,
like no, that just sounds like a thick. Fuck, ew. You know what I mean? Like, I guess you could maybe mix that with like some alcohol. That'd probably be like a good mixer.
Oh, okay, yeah.
You could probably mix that.
Maybe that's what they're going for. The untapped market.
Yeah, I don't.
They're gonna have other summer pop flavors. Don't know why that
just
means.
Nondescriptive.
And then they're also gonna have s'mores.
We're gonna have some normal pop.
This tastes like fresh cut grass.
Yeah. They're gonna have s'mores as well. That's the last one they're doing.
See, it's the same thing. Like I love s'mores.
Yeah.
But do I want to drink pop s'mores out of a can?
God, no.
Absolutely not.
No.
So
it's almost like I don't know, I guess there's not.
They're
all,
niche.
Not all
it's that
desserts,
niche
like,
bullshit.
It's like fucking mint chocolate chip ice cream. Like I'm cool with having a few bites of something mint chocolate chip. I don't want a fucking full bowl of mint chocolate chip.
I think that's a little more common than like a
s'mores.
I'm not saying it's not more common, but I don't want a lot of it, or like I don't want to drink.
Well,
they're just
they're the novelty item. It's one of those things that most people will see it, and it's so weird that they go, "Oh, I have to try that." They'll buy it one time, never buy it again, but that's all they're trying to do and get that one buy.
Yeah, cash grab. We're back to the cash grab.
Yeah, we're figuring out corporate America one podcast at a time.
Yeah. My last piece of nerd news, I always make a transition into our topic.
Ooh.
So our topic is Jurassic World this episode. So DeWanda Wise, the woman who plays Kayla in the new movie, she had an interview with Complex magazine, and she's talking about how she was never a fan of the series. Thought that was interesting because cool. they had asked her how nervous she was to be joining the cast and joining this franchise, and she was like, honestly, I never really liked it.
And I mean, to be honest, like That doesn't surprise me as much. Like, it's crazy. I mean, it's funny because Chris Pratt's like an ultimate Jurassic Park guy. And he's made that very known. Like, he loves the old Jurassic Parks. So it's like, it's kind of weird. And Jurassic Park's such a monumental thing. But like, realistically, you start realizing like, there's so much shit out there that like, actors are normal people too. And like, they just don't watch everything. Or they don't like everything.
Absolutely.
But at the same time, a job is a job, my dude. And when that role comes across and all that time, you don't have to be a fan of the show or watch the show to know, like, oh, I'd like to be a part of that.
Yeah.
So that's kind of cool because I actually really liked her in this movie. I'll get that out of the way. I actually, as a character, I think she had some cheesy lines, but I think that's just the writing in general had cheesiness throughout it. But like as a character, she was really cool and she has a great look. Like, I can see her in other movies. I'm like, holy shit, like, this chick's going to be in a lot of movies.
That was Zosha's favorite character, was her.
I buy it. Really? She's a badass.
She said she really liked her, and she liked her hair. And I said, her hair was pretty damn cool.
No, she was cool as fuck. She's just like your classic,
curls.
like, badass pilot in an action movie. Like, she was badass.
We were leaving, and I was like, her fucking eyes were... her eyes, like, blended in with her skin, and I was like,
no,
her eyes are beautiful.
It was like Hemdall.
She's gorgeous.
It is. Very, yeah, it was.
She looks like
She's very good looking. She's gorgeous.
Yeah.
And her eyes, but she also, like, is badass.
She's tough.
You know what I mean? Like, she just, like, I was like, oh, damn, this chick's going to be in a lot of movies.
Yes. And she
and I'm sure she has been in a lot of
She actually has 41
movies.
credits on IMDb, and I was like, I've never seen any of the things, but
like,
now I want to go back and
this
look
is
it up.
Like, I think, you're going to see her in a lot more things. This is going to put her on the map.
I hope so.
She was good in this.
They asked her about like doing stunts and shit as well. And she said that she has to credit a lot of her character towards Chris Pratt because he was the true action hero mentor. And he's just very into it. Like, he could, and she said that one of the best things about him is that when the cameras were off, he is the Parks and Rec character.
Oh,
that
yeah.
He is his goofball self. And it's like, oh, that's good to know that, that even though he is that fucking tough guy in this movie, he's not letting go of his past. And it's good to hear. But I just want to address that. I always have something that ties into the next, or ties into our topic. So that was one of the newest things that was released today, actually, that her interview with Complex. And I thought that was interesting. With that being said, we ready to get in the Jurassic Park?
Yeah, let's do it. Jurassic World.
Jurassic World, yes. But I want to briefly touch on...
I'm going to replace you.
I briefly want to touch on the previous films.
Oh,
so,
I'd love to.
So
I would love to.
Not talking too much, but Jurassic Park, 1993, Steven Spielberg. Fall in love with this movie automatically?
Yeah, and like people be like, oh, isn't that a little? You're a little ridiculous, but it's probably in my top 5 movies. Of all time.
Okay.
Yeah, like
nice.
it's one of those. And I had a roommate in college, Dre. Shout out Dre, and like I remember getting older and him like sitting down one night and him being like, dude, like what do you really like about this movie? You know, like I get it's a dinosaur movie and all that, but like how you like. How can you say this rivals X, Y, and Z of like greats, you know? And I don't know. I think it is like as a little kid, I find it incredibly like dinosaurs. Almost every kid's like infatuated with dinosaurs. Yeah, they're just these magical, mystical things that were real once. You know what I mean? It's just a weird kind of eye-opening mental trip to go through at a young age. Yeah, and like see proof when you go to the museums and see
skeletons,
these bones. You know what I mean? And so I think just the thought of that, and like there's no other dinosaur movies. It's one of those things like there's not many other dinosaur movies, especially before this. So
I can't even name one off the top of my head.
There's no live action dinosaur.
Yeah, there's like
Land
we're
Before
back.
Time,
you know,
and
we're
dinosaurs.
back.
Yeah, we're back.
But Jurassic Park is one of those things that it's just as a kid you see it, and those dinosaurs look so fucking real because they used.
The animatronics.
So many animatronics, and the CGI at the time was just so ahead of its time of what it should have been that you buy it all. Yeah. And when you get older, the more I watch it, the more I love about Jurassic Park. And they usually hit it on every movie, but mainly the main one is just like it's really the ignorance of man and the whole idea of like understanding what your potential is versus like understanding the responsibility of like that potential.
Yeah, that just because we can doesn't mean we should. Yes.
That whole idea is like and I also have been like just always the life finds a way thing, which is corny. Everyone says it, but it's like it's so cool when they break it down in the way that they do in the movies. And when you really look at it, it's like you can really kind of apply that to a lot of places in like real life. Yeah. I don't know, man. I fucking love it. And it's scary. It's good. It's just the first Jurassic Park.
It fucking holds up, man.
Solid
like,
movie.
we watched it. I showed the girls probably a week and a half ago because I knew that we were going to go see Jurassic World, this new Jurassic World Dominion in theaters. So I was like, Zosha, you need to see the first one.
You need to know who Alan Grant is.
Yeah, she needs to know who these original characters are. Yeah. So because she had already seen Jurassic World and Fallen Kingdom, and she liked them, but she likes them because she could relate Chris Pratt back to Guardians of the Galaxy because she likes Guardians of the Galaxy.
She calls him Chris.
It's funny. She calls him Chris. So now I was like, you need to see this original one, at least just the first one, so that you understand. And she liked it.
Yeah, I showed Lauren not too long ago, and she's seen it for her first time.
Oh, wow.
And I remember her, we were getting, probably halfway through the movie and her turning and being like, this is, really good. And it's in the surprise tone of, for an old movie, this is a straight up, good movie.
93,
you know what I
mean?
And I was like, I told you, man, this shit is just...
It holds up.
It's a banger. It's this John Williams score.
It still scares you.
That's what I'm saying.
That kitchen scene, you're
it's classic filmmaking, man. It's again, it's Spielberg, too. It's you forget. It's one of the greats, man.
This is actually my earliest memory of seeing a movie in theaters as well, was Jurassic Park.
I was too young for that.
I was 3... So I was walking down the fucking aisles and shit, and I know there were times where I wasn't paying attention. My parents just let me run wild through a movie theater, I guess. But
so everyone hated you.
Yeah, Maddie. No, not me. Maddie would have tripped this kid in real life nowadays.
I definitely would have
tripped him, little self.
Sit the fuck down, kid. But no, it's one of my earliest memories of being in a movie theater was seeing Jurassic Park.
It's awesome.
And
I definitely watched this on VHS because
me too. But I have seen it in theaters as on a replay. I do try to see it, even when it comes back nowadays, even though I've seen it once, I try to go again because it's just one of those things.
Yeah.
You just need to see it on a big
when
screen.
the cup jiggles and that T-Rex footprint hits in the theater, it's like...
That's surround sound too.
You know what I mean?
Oh, man.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Move on to The Lost World, Jurassic Park. This came out in 97.
Vince Vaughn.
Yes, another Steven Spielberg film. He kept it going. And I remember liking it.
It's not bad. I think people are way harder on it than they should be. It's not terrible. It's kind of dumb because it literally is like King Kong. It's like Dinosaur. Okay. We're going to bring Dinosaur to San Diego. Dinosaur now breaks out in America. We got a problem on our hands.
And it's the coolest scene, too.
It is cool.
When dinosaurs get the real world.
I agree 100%. It's just, compared to the one, it falls a little flat. And I think that's just because... they really were running out of they kind of, like I said, if you read the Jurassic Park book.
I was going to ask you,
the regular book Jurassic Park is really like Jurassic Park 1 and Jurassic Park 2, The Lost World.
Okay.
The Lost World, the second book, is way more like a little bit of things in the Lost World in the second movie and more stuff from the third movie, but even more like InGen, it's heavy militarized type bullshit. So the second movie they kind of used all the good shit from the story in the first movie. It's all kind of combined in that first book.
Does the second book have the same character as Ian Malcolm, or does it go over to... Is Alan Grant in it as well?
No.
Okay, so he cuts it out as well.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because it does and that's how they set it up. A lot of shit that happens in Lost World actually happens in Jurassic Park and vice versa, kind of. They're kind of mixing and matching what works for that story.
Okay.
Because then they all survive it, and then Lost World 2 or Lost World picks up with Ian giving a lecture and him kind of being I'm the only one that still talks about this shit because everyone else has signed NDAs and all this shit.
So, okay. Interesting.
And then he gets called back to the island just like the regular movie.
I remember liking it when I was younger.
It's not
bad. I haven't watched it probably in 15 years, but I think I'd like to revisit it, especially since
one of the most famous scenes, the dog just walks out the back, or the dinosaur walks out the backyard and the doghouse is hanging from its fucking teeth. Yes. Dude, it's hilarious.
I do remember that.
It's it's that terrible moment where you're like, oh my God, that he ate the dog, but it's also that's so cool.
Yeah, it is.
Doghouse hanging from his mouth.
Jurassic Park 3.
Interesting movie.
So Joe Johnston took over.
Do you know why he got that movie?
I don't know.
Because he wanted to direct the second one. And Spielberg still wanted to do a second one, which he usually doesn't direct sequels of his own stuff. He just produces them. But he had so much fun on the first one that he wanted to do it again. And Joe Johnston wanted to direct it, but Spielberg was like, hey, man, I'm actually going to do it. If I make another one, you can be in it. And That's why, or you can be the one to direct it. And so when the third one came out, he gave it to his boy because he kind of took the second one from him.
Okay.
That was nice of him.
Yeah. So Jurassic Park 3 came out in 2001. Joe Johnston directed it, and you wouldn't think from how shitty or how bad Jurassic Park 3 is looked at that the man who directed Jumanji and the man who directed Captain America made this movie, because it's probably looked at as the worst Jurassic Park film in the entire franchise.
I think it's debated, but
no, that's what it's probably looked at. It's debated as being one of the worst.
Yeah. Oh yeah. It's the bottom. It's bottom tier for sure.
So I remember liking it when I was younger.
Well, it's because you get Alan Grant back.
Yes,
that's half the battle. Like,
I mean, 2001. So I was 11 years old, and I remember liking because it had a cool dinosaur. It introduced the Spinosaurus.
It did,
and we haven't seen the Spinosaurus since this movie. But
it
whatever.
Was the first introduction of real like flying pterodactyls and pterodons, like being an issue, like being a fucking issue. Yeah, where they built the like aviation domes and stuff like that. Yeah, so like, that's which like is really huge in Jurassic Park lore now. So it's one of those things. It's like those are in every video game, every Jurassic World thing now, like the big pterodactyl dome areas. So it's like one of those things. Like it helps build the world a little bit, but overall, the movie kind of is
fall short. Yeah.
Yeah. It's a tough one.
As a kid, though, I did watch the third one more than the second one. I don't know why.
Yeah, I couldn't honestly speak on that. I would have no idea.
I know watching it as an adult, I never paid attention to certain things, like the fucking when Alan has the dream and he wakes up in the plane and it's the raptor saying Alan. I totally forgot about that scene because like, this dinosaur speaking English. Says Alan, says his name. And it's a dream, so it's funny, but it's like, this is fucking ridiculous. Moving on to Jurassic World. So this came out in 2015. Colin Trevorrow directed it, and I didn't care for this one.
I liked it.
I know that people were stoked on it because it was not retelling or reinventing, but it was I don't know if reboot isn't the right word.
No,
because they still used the lore.
It was a reboot,
they still
but
had...
in a sense of it was like it was a reboot, but they were still
requel is what they say now.
Yeah, it was a reboot, but it was like we're still gonna tell you all that shit existed. We're just gonna do the new version of it.
Yeah, new characters.
Yeah, and again, is it the perfect movie? No, but I think it was a great way to bring Jurassic Park into this era. Because the last time we saw Jurassic Park, like, it's kind of pre-cell phones and pre what we see theme parks and zoos and all this shit as now, and that's what they did with fucking Jurassic World. You know, they had the fucking crazy trains, the oversaturation of, like, Margaritaville and all the, like,
Jimmy Fallon's doing
videos.
videos.
And that was all on purpose. It was all on there. Like, a lot of people were like, well, this made the movie corny and stupid. It's like, that was the whole point. They wanted to show you, like, consumerism
it is consistent with what our world is.
Correct. And so, like, again, and they just, like, they brought out so many cool dinosaurs that we hadn't really seen before, like the Mosasaurus and shit like that.
Sure.
And
which one is that?
That's the big, like, big thing that lives in the tank. Like the whale.
Okay, gotcha.
Dinosaur.
Yes.
So that was awesome, and it was also the first time we got to see the original T-Rex return.
It is.
So that's one of my favorite lores of all time. I'm gonna let you guys in on this little thing. I was gonna save it for the review, but now we're already talking about fucking the T-Rex. So the original T-Rex, the scene where Timmy and his sister are in the car and it's biting on the glass, right? When it was biting on the glass when they filmed it, the right side big tooth, or the one next to the big tooth, popped out, and the robot in the animatronic thing when they were filming. And every time they put it back in, but every time they would film, it would fucking come back out. So Spielberg got pissed and was like, fuck it, just leave the tooth out. So now, if you look closely from now on, you know it's that T-Rex in this one, Jurassic World, Jurassic Fallen Kingdom, and Dominion. You can tell the T-Rex is the T-Rex because it has scars from the raptor attacks in the museum, and then it's also missing a tooth because they left it out.
So it got continuity.
Yeah,
nice.
It's cool. It's cool, and it's like something that like they don't focus on, and they never show like a close up of its face. They don't do it. It's like
It's like an Easter egg.
The editors like Easter egg. They like do it as their own like little nerdy shout out.
Dope. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, which is again why my Twitch logo. Why he has a gold tooth. Where he does.
Now I know.
Yep.
Good to know.
Yeah, but yeah, and I just think that's one of those really cool facts of like it just gives the T-Rex fucking character.
Yeah,
and it's literally supposed to be a character that survives and keeps popping up in these movies. It's not just a monster.
He finds a way.
Yeah, exactly.
I like it. That's
It's
pretty
awesome.
cool.
Yeah.
Then we go to Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom. This came out in 2018. This was directed by J.A. Bayona, and this is the guy who directed Orphanage, the horror film, and The Impossible with Tom Holland and Naomi Watts, which is actually a pretty good movie. But a lot of people look at this movie like it's one of the worst in the franchise as well.
This one I kind of explained it as the movie that was probably going to be the worst, but also the movie that like needed to happen to propel the Jurassic World of what we're going to know it as going forward.
Yeah.
Because without this movie, you don't get the whole kind of quote unquote Jurassic World. What they were kind of building up into is like getting the dinosaurs out of the park kind of thing. So it's one of those things where it's not the best movie. I don't think, again, has cool dinosaurs and things like that. But I don't like the made up dinosaurs. I don't like the gene splicing, like a Raptor and all that shit. Like, I get that's InGen, so that would absolutely happen because they're just making dinosaurs anywhere. Yeah. They're not real dinosaurs. But, like, I really like just them replicating the dinosaurs that we know were real. So that's when the villain is just a made-up thing in a lab, even though they're all made up. You know what I mean? It's just, to me, I'm kind of like, all right, who fucking cares? I'd rather see a T-Rex fight another T-Rex. You know what I mean?
I get you.
But yeah, again, it was like one of those where I was like, you get why this movie needs to happen though, because without this, they really kind of explain like, okay, well now we've kind of opened Pandora's box. What do you want us to do? And then hopefully Dominion will address this. We'll get to that. Stick around if you want to see how that plays out.
Which, I mean, I enjoyed Fallen Kingdom, so that's probably one of my top tier ones.
Really?
Actually, yeah,
that's interesting.
So we'll have an interesting conversation towards the end when we rank all the films. Mm-hmm. That being said, we're going to get into Jurassic World Dominion. I still have this spoiler free right now.
Okay.
This is also directed by Colin Trevorrow, who came back from Jurassic World. Not sure why he left. I'm not sure.
Who knows?
Yeah, but he. I know a lot of people don't like him. I can care less. I mean, I think regardless of who is directing this movie, it was going to be the way that the studios planned out each of these films to be. But this came out on Friday, June 10th, and we went and saw it when we were in Florida. If I had to say that people need to watch certain movies before they see this one, the first one, and Fallen Kingdom would be all they need to understand, like Maisie, and understand how these characters got into the real world.
Seeing Jurassic World definitely would not help or would not hurt either. But
kill that spider.
There's a spider in the studio.
Let it go.
I think, yeah. I mean, the ones you really need to see is one, Fallen Kingdom, probably, yeah. Probably. Jurassic World would not hurt, though. If you just watch the first Jurassic World, that's going to help with a lot of the Chris Pratt, Claire type bullshit. Yeah.
That's Fallen Kingdom, you definitely need to see.
To know who Maisie is.
And the first one, because you need to know, because if you don't know these legacy characters...
I guess you really don't even need to know that, because they kind of explain who everyone is. You're just not going to get the weight of any of the situation.
You don't get that wow factor. Yeah. You'd be like, who the fuck is this guy?
Correct. Yeah, correct.
So this is my spoiler-free review. You ready for this, Tyler?
Go for it.
Fucking double check.
Should I just roar and scream if he says a spoiler?
You won't have to.
Throw the spider at him.
Yeah. Okay. So I know this movie is getting negative buzz. I enjoyed it. I understand where the problems are at. I'd say it's mostly a structure and pacing issue with the first half. I also feel like they're slamming a nostalgic cock down your throat most of the film. There are a lot of fun dinosaur sequences, and the mix of practical and digital effects look fantastic together.
Agreed. I will heavily back that up.
Ultimately, although this is a fun movie, it is very predictable, and it does not feel like a conclusion to the franchise.
That's good. That's good.
That's my spoiler-free review.
You're so excited you're throwing stuff.
I know, I'm throwing shit. I'm proud of myself. I could have said something
not bad. It's not bad. That's fair.
He's getting there.
We're giving you this time that now. Yeah, exactly. Your time is dwindling where you need to turn this off if you're worried about spoilers because it's going to happen.
I'm going to add a fake applause right here for my review as well. Tomato meter, 33%.
Yeah.
Really?
Yes. Yeah. Audience score is 79%.
Yeah, audience is actually a lot higher than the tomato meter. Which again, I've kind of fallen out of caring what Rotten Tomatoes rank stuff. Like I just feel like at this point,
I feel like it's very skewed.
It's gone so mainstream too, where it just like it. I don't know, you know what I mean. So, but it always hurts to see a rotten score. Yeah, which is when you see the green tomato, it's like fuck. All right, here we go. Hope they're wrong.
I don't like Rotten Tomatoes either, but I know it's what people go to for it. So I'm like, I might as well give you guys and let you.
No, I like that we give it. Yes, no, I agree.
This is what everyone thinks of it, but this is our thoughts on it. So if you don't like it, then whatever. That being said, that's all I have in the section before we get into spoilers. If you want to address anything that's non-spoiler, the floor is everyone's. Sam, you got anything non-spoiler?
No, not really.
Yeah, spoiler free, not full review.
I mean, no, I think you hit it on the head. I think it, as you said, there is quite a nostalgia cock going on. But I think you don't see many movies nowadays that pull in old original actors that aren't doing that. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Yeah. And so like that part, I wasn't.
You expect it.
Yeah, it wasn't. And it wasn't done in a way that I think was like, there's times where it happens where it's like annoying. These I feel like were okay. There was a lot of subtle ones actually. There was some subtle ones, there were some funny ones, and then there were some not so like subtle ones. But again, it's fucking Jurassic Park. I think the writing and story is where like this movie kind of gets fucked up.
Yeah.
That's my like dialogue.
Yeah, it wasn't
writing.
the nostalgia for me. Like I thought that was just enough. It made me laugh.
I have a few at the end of it all that I'm gonna say that I want you to be like, that's cool. That was cool. Down my throat, or I didn't mind that one.
Yeah,
so.
no, that's totally fine. But like I said, I mean, it's the same thing. It's okay. You know, it's okay in the sense of
I enjoyed it.
It's a Jurassic Park movie. It's all right.
It was fun.
Yeah.
That being said, spoilers now.
Yeah, let's go.
I got spoilers. We're going to hit this whole movie. We're going to do scene by scene.
Kind of like our Doctor Strange.
Yes, just like our Doctor Strange. Yeah. We're going to go scene by scene. We're going to break it down. I'm going to let you guys know, certain scenes, how we felt about it while we go through it all.
Yep.
So, this movie starts, and it is 4 years after Fallen Kingdom.
Yes.
And it is a news feed. It is like a documentary type thing where these people are talking about how dinosaurs live amongst us. Mm-hmm. Some people hate it, and some people want to kill the dinosaurs. And some people just love them. They're like, oh, it is what it is.
This is life now.
Yeah, this is life. A lot of people catch them. They sell them on the black markets. Lewis Dodson.
Yeah, he's Dennis Neardy. He's the famous... don't say my name. The Dodson. Yeah. We got Dodson over here. Yeah. That's who Dodson is now. It's not the same actor.
It is not.
Did not bring out the same actor, but it's supposed to be the same character.
Yes.
Which is funny because he's the guy that's employing Dennis to steal the embryos because he has a side company that he's trying to start up and kind of undercut InGen and Dr. Hammond.
Which is, I would assume, Biosyn.
Again, they don't name it, but... Yes. Correct. Now it has a name. It had to have been Biosyn, and this is 30 years in the making.
And this character, if they would have gotten Michael Fassbender to play him, I would have thought it was the same fucking character. Because every time I see the original
Jurassic Park, actor didn't. That's what killed me on this. I didn't like him. I didn't really like this.
He had a Steve Jobs type.
He did, and he was kind of boring. And at first, like he just gives you these weird, like I thought, like maybe he's a clone or something. I was like, he's like eating weird, and just like his mannerisms are weird, but they're not like villain weird. It was just like this guy's really weird. I wonder if he's like a clone or something. Like there's something deeper. And no, he just turns out to be like a guy who's way underqualified for this position. And it's just I don't know. It's just a weak villain. So I think that's a big thing in this movie.
It is
both the human villain and the dinosaur big villain they don't play big enough roles as far as hitting the mark of what they should be.
I can see that.
Which we'll get to that when we get to
Lewis Dodson, like you said, he kind of like has a Steve Jobs vibe to him because he's got short hair and he's like white black turtleneck type.
Yeah, just like
thing.
Walking around like, I have a meeting to get to.
He is the head of Biosyn. He has this dinosaur sanctuary in the Italy mountains,
which is cool.
Yes, and he seems like he's a good guy. He's played out in this documentary that he is the fucking savior of dinosaurs.
I know who he is. Do you know who that actor is?
Yes, he is Richard Parker from the Spider-Man movies with Andrew Garfield.
Yes, I was like, that's where I know that face from.
Richard Parker. What's his name?
Richard Parker.
No. What's his real name?
Campbell Scott.
Okay.
Yeah, Campbell Scott.
No, I don't have it written here. At the end of this documentary, Maisie's mentioned. Maisie is the main character who is from the Fallen Kingdom.
Who we find out at the end of Fallen Kingdom is like a clone.
Yes.
Or built in a test tube type.
So the world knows that she is a clone at this point.
Correct.
And
because at the end of Fallen Kingdom, everything kind of goes south for them, and all their secrets and shit kind of get exposed. And so now there's like, and that's the thing, Biosyn's like, they're kind of like, they look like this front of kind of like the, well, what is cool too is they like show that like the natural like wildlife organization and shit is no longer like the ones we know. Like they also have like habitats set up for fucking dinosaurs and stuff like that. And Biosyn is like treating like these dinosaurs at these facilities that they call them and all that. But like you quickly get vibes that like Biosyn is like not what it says to be.
Shady,
you know what I mean? Yeah. They don't do a good, they're not trying to like, they're trying to give you clues like, you guys know what happens when a company's making dinosaurs. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, so you right away are like, okay, Biosyn's probably not going to be the best place for everybody, you know, before they even really start dropping hints. But it's a cool area.
It is.
And I think and I guess that's a little bit into it. We can get into it. Basically, they explain how like they have like signals put into the dinosaurs, and like they can kind of like ping them to like hurt them
in the sanctuary.
They like kind of can like, so the sanctuary is a true like safe haven for dinosaurs that they can kind of like call them in and give them protection, so to say. Which again, it starts to be my main problem with this movie is we have a chance to have Jurassic Park, Jurassic World, all these dinosaurs out in the open, which is what they kind of show you in the first 5 minutes, which is really cool with the compilations of all the different dinosaurs and kind of different like settings. And they still brought it back to a singular fucking building and island. And it's like, God damn it, you guys did it fucking again. You know what I mean? Even before anything goes wrong, it's like, God damn it, they put all the dinosaurs on an island again. It's
a
like,
scene that I was very pissed that they didn't show that was in the trailer was where the T-Rex shows up at the fucking...
Yeah, they didn't do a lot of them. They didn't do...
Was it T-Rex at the drive-in theater?
Yeah.
That was not in the movie at all.
No,
like,
they didn't do the Dreadnought either. The Dreadnoughtus, which is like the big-ass Bronchiosaurus, like coming up from the water. They didn't do like any of those, so I was kind of upset. I will say when you first meet Maisie, which is relatively soon here, her like whispering to the guy and them teaching like how the Apatosaurus, which is the like big like kind of the medium-sized Brachiosaurus, is like sleeping in their like lumberyard. And she like whispers to like the guy to get a flare and like lure them away. It's like one, it showed she like knows dinosaurs and has like dinosaur knowledge because she hangs out with Owen and Claire. Yeah. But B, it was just so cool to see like this is what I want to see is like how are humans everyday lives fucked up and how do they have to like. And again, it's not them hunting anything. It's causing
the construction world.
Correct.
To fucking
it wasn't a scene of like, oh God, a fucking velociraptor ripped a child's arm off at a playground. You know, no. Yeah. It was literally like, damn, these guys are trying to cut wood and they got fucking 3 fucking Apatosauruses sleeping in their goddamn lumberyard that are the size of their trucks. What do we do? And you know what I mean? So it's like little moments like that. I was like, yes, this is what I want to see. How do we now have to adapt to these things living amongst us?
Maybe we'll get the drive-in scene when the movie comes out with the more fun stuff version.
Yeah, since that's how all these things are going now.
We'll get them in. We'll get them in that cut.
That's hilarious.
We cut over. The next scene is Claire. Claire is in Nevada, and she is with Zia and Franklin. These are the characters from Fallen Kingdom as well, and they're freeing a dinosaur. They're going to get a dinosaur.
They're going into and it's actually a Biosyn like facility, and it's where they're like housing and kind of like breeding and like
it's almost like puppy mill vibes.
Correct, exactly. Yeah. So it's your first instinct because it is a Biosyn building where you're like, oh, they're supposed to be like this big science thing, but it looks like what they say like, do you know what they do to cows before you eat them?
Yeah.
It's like,
do you know how chicken nuggets
are
made?
You know what I mean? Like I don't think they're eating dinosaurs, but all these like triceratops and like different species of dinosaurs are kind of like in cages and shit. And then there's a baby. Nastroceratops, and it's just a different type of like Triceratops for those that don't know. And it's just a little baby one.
Yeah.
For some reason, Claire's like, we're saving that fucking one.
Because
you know what
I think they made it out to be the runt. So
it is.
What
it
happens
is. It's just like a little baby.
She didn't want
They're
it
going to
to
kill
die.
the
Correct.
runt.
Yeah, it's just a little baby in a cage that's clearly smaller than everyone else. So Claire's just like, fuck it. She has like one of those like, we're gonna break the pigs out from the makeup testing facility. Like, we're gonna just fucking free the animals. Like they're almost like PETA. They're like new age PETA in a way.
I get that for sure.
So yeah, they just
they break this dinosaur out and they're getting chased by the fucking people there. They're getting shot at by the people there. And what's really cool is they drive through a herd of real Triceratops.
I was gonna say, and that's what's kind of cool. It's really dumb in a way because it's like, okay, this is kind of weird, but then like. But to get like getting chased by like a bunch of cars and then to go through a field of like pissed off like dinosaurs, awesome.
It's the scene of driving the opposite direction on the highway when you're like,
the cars are getting smoked by dinosaurs, and dinosaurs aren't even getting hurt; they're just running cars over. It was
They're like,
so
why
cool.
are you trying to ruin my night?
Yeah, and we see Triceratops in that scene. We see the Sinoceratops, which are like the Triceratops that have like holes almost in their like mane. Like there are a lot of horns and there's big like empty holes like in their cartilage. So it's like a famous kind of dinosaur. So there's a lot of like Certop. I don't know what those dinosaurs are actually called, that family, but a lot of love in that scene. Yeah. Yeah, the tops.
The tops.
So it was a cool kind of introduction of like, okay, like again, dinosaurs are wild amongst us, and Claire's still like fighting the good fight, loves dinosaurs over everything.
So they do get away, and Zia and Franklin are like, we can't do this shit anymore.
Franklin works for the like fucking.
He goes to the CIA.
The CIA,
yes.
Yeah. It's just like Jesus Christ. That's a.
So they jump apart because they say, we gotta bounce. This is unsafe. There's a better way to go about this.
I need a job.
Yeah. So the next scene is Owen, and Owen is in a different part of Nevada. This is a snowy area in Nevada, and he's a fucking dinosaur wrangler.
Yeah, he's literally a cowboy roping Parasaurolophus.
It's a cool scene.
They're cool. Yeah, I mean, it's kind of like, it's cheesy in a way, but at the same time, it's like, it's kind of cool. It's like, again, dinosaur and man. It's like them. He's trying to herd. And he's trying to just like kind of herd them together. And I think, what are they doing? He's like,
he when they capture it, he puts his hand up kind of like he learned how to tame the raptors.
We all know he's
like
the dinosaur whisperer.
He goes, we're going to get you somewhere safe, is what he says to the dinosaur. And the dinosaur's like, acknowledges him as like, okay, yeah, I know what you're saying. But he says, we're going to get you safe. So I'm assuming they're sending him to a rescue house.
Because like I said, that is after we have already seen the like these facilities that they've had set up, like the around everywhere, the like sanctuary type places they keep setting up. So it's pretty implied that he's gonna just send this herd.
I don't think it's going to Biosyn. I don't think.
No, because like I said, I don't think it's Biosyn seems like it's more like testing and things like that. But then there's like the actual like United States Wildlife Federation has like, instead of national parks, they have like dinosaur like care centers.
Yeah,
like,
I wish they would have addressed that a little bit better, just because they made it seem that Biosyn's fucking area in Italy was the only place.
And it's not. And that's the thing is, the gap that's kind of missing that I feel like I know a lot about this is the new game that came out, Jurassic World Evolution 2, came out right before the movie, like I guess a couple months ago.
Okay.
And it's a park builder type game with dinosaurs. It's fucking awesome.
Okay.
But this new one, the original one's really much like the original games. You build a park, you fill it with dinosaurs, and the whole idea of the game is not if things go bad, but when. So at some point, something's going to happen. Dinosaurs are going to get out. How are you going to react to this and fix your park for minimal damage?
Didn't you play a fucking Jurassic Park?
I
It's fucking
was
sick.
hardcore fucking addicted to the Jurassic Park builder that first came through Facebook, and it was like a phone game.
I had that game too.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
When we first
I had that
dating,
game
you
for
were
a long
playing it.
time.
It was bad. I was like, hold on, I gotta feed my fucking dinosaur.
Yes. No, I agree. It's not that game. It's a computer game. But the second one, they do a great job of explaining that the movie didn't, of like how the national park like association basically doesn't build like pens to keep these dinosaurs in, but they build like these areas where they're like they can safely live in their own ecosystem, kind of like just any national
they're
park.
Putting them into the plains.
Correct.
And all the.
And then what they do though is like they'll cycle them out to do tests on them and do like any normal, like they'll make sure that correct. It's like they're normal ass like trying to make sure all these guys are healthy type dinosaurs. So it's not just Biosyn though. It's like the government has decided like we can't just let these things run amok. Like we're going to police this.
I think they should have done a little bit better.
And yeah, they don't explain that at all.
Like Owen's doing these capturing these dinosaurs, but he's rescuing them in a way, and I think they should have addressed that a little bit better. But that goes to the next scene is where Owen goes to a cabin, and at this cabin is where Claire and Maisie are at. But before this is the scene that Tyler had mentioned, where Maisie's at this job site, and it's a lumber yard of some type, and there's a big dinosaur that he knows the name of. Yes, exactly. That's what I said.
Yep.
And you get to see these dinosaurs in the real world. Maisie goes back to the house as well, and Claire's like, you're not supposed to fucking leave past the the fucking bridge.
You're fucking wanted on TV for being a clone.
Everyone sees you on TV, but you're gonna leave, and so that's when we see that there's a poacher, a mercenary named, which they reveal his name is Rain, and he's watching Maisie, because he's recruited by somebody to watch Maisie that they don't reveal yet. But he's also watching Blue. So Blue is the raptor from the first two films, and he's watching Blue because Blue has a baby.
Yep.
And Blue is I'm not sure so it's asexual. I'm not even exactly sure what that means.
So asexual means it doesn't really have like a reproductive like system in a way. It's not male or female, right? So there's like plants are asexual. A lot of plants can be asexual. And so that was the whole thing, is like the fact that it had a baby is why Blue is so important.
Okay.
Because
unlike
the other dinosaurs where they spliced in, they say in the movie, again, to science this is all bullshit, but in the movie they explain it that they use frog DNA. So they made the dinosaurs all female, but certain frogs have the ability in an all female community where they will change sex because they realize that their population, if they don't get a male involved, that they will die out, right? Mm-hmm. So that's why the dinosaurs start making babies in the Lost World. That's the whole crux of the Lost World, is how the fuck is there a baby T-Rex? You know what I mean? And this whole thing was like, okay, we've addressed that and have been kind of letting them populate on their own, but Blue is a 101 velociraptor, right? And so they don't know how the fuck Blue has a baby. So that's why that baby is so important, because in a way it is a dinosaur Maisie.
Yes.
That's kind of the idea of it's like a clone. They don't know what the fuck is going on with that. So it's kind of a cool concept. It's cool how they introduce it, because like Blue like is hunting and like hunts for the
he's
the
teaching.
baby.
She's teaching
like baby
the
Blue.
Yeah.
It's cool. It's like again, it's stupid because it's like, oh, these are baby dinosaurs, but at the same time, like, I don't know. Blue has become such a big character in the franchise, weirdly, that it's like, I don't know, you're like, all right, Blue. Like,
it's become the T-Rex in this series where you're rooting. Yeah, the T-Rex is bad. Dinosaurs are bad. They eat fucking people, but
not Blue. Blue's a good dinosaur.
You're rooting for that T-Rex in the same way that you're rooting for Blue in this series. Correct. That you don't want Blue to die. You feel bad for Blue. The next scene is two kids on a farm. These two kids are feeding animals, and this fucking swarm of giant locust grasshoppers comes up.
This was a moment of like, it was like, okay, this is gonna be terrifying. This is awesome. Everything's shine and then all these bugs flew up, and I was just like, well, where's the dinosaurs?
What the fuck is going on?
Why do prehistoric bugs now?
Yeah,
I was just like a pterodactyl in the field wouldn't have been scary enough. You know what I mean? It was just that instant reality of like, oh no, they're gonna fuck this up some way. And this is where like my first instinct of like, this is not the movie I thought it was gonna be.
Yeah.
It hit, and it was just like, fuck. This is way too. I knew how they do it. It's like, this is a main thing in the movie as well. You know what I mean? It just feels like one of those moments where you're like, that's going to be the main problem of the movie. You know what I mean? And it's just like, I thought the main problem was just going to be living amongst dinosaurs, because that's fucking terrifying. But now we have to have fucking prehistoric locusts.
Yeah.
No, it's that weird, like, whole side story. The whole side story was just off-putting at first. That's for sure.
Off what?
Off-putting.
I heard you.
Pudding.
But so these giant grasshoppers attack these kids, and they're the size of like.
It's scary. It's very scary. But
they're
again,
the size of like your
Jurassic
fucking
Park.
head.
I don't need it. I don't
It's
want
a big fuck no.
Yeah, I just don't. I don't need bugs.
Sam interrupted this fucking podcast to kill a spider the size of a fucking quarter. I mean, this was a grasshopper that was the size of like
they're huge.
3 football halls.
And they're 2 kids
that
too.
spider could have unplugged your mic.
They're
right?
huge and they're it is scary, but again, it's like if it was a flock of pteranodons or something, that would be fucking terrifying.
And it picked up
too.
one of the kids, or I'd be like, ooh.
Maybe
it
killed a kid,
like the little things that the little kids always love the little fucking dinosaurs. The
compies or whatever?
Yeah, the compies, and then they just get fucking, you know what I mean? It's just like, dude, all right, let's
do
get
some
into bugs, I guess. I hope that we get into, like, I thought it was going to be more so, like, this is how bad I was like, okay. All right, all these dinosaurs released, like now our ecosystem's changing. And now things are getting changed that we're not used to. So I was like, okay, I can buy that. Like now they're fucking up our world in the sense of like dinosaurs are for some reason changing the way our ecosystem works.
Yeah.
But that's not the case.
No, they're like, let's use dinosaurs
Not the
to
case.
make killer
the
bugs.
reason why it
Not
had
the
to
case
be
at all.
the reason why it had to be grasshoppers because now we're introduced to one of our legacy characters, which is Ellie.
Which I will say, one of the coolest first shout outs to the first movie, when she first gets out of the car and looks at the damage, she does the exact same look in the glasses move that Alan Grant does the first time to see a brontosaurus.
That was actually one of the things that I feel like the nostalgia cock is slammed down my throat. I was like, fucking, I get it.
Dude.
I fucking get it. There was an original Jurassic Park. I don't...
Crazy.
Bullshit,
That
man.
was such a subtle one, too.
Very
dude.
subtle.
It was so over the top.
Dude.
It wasn't over the top, but it was like, I fucking get it. You
You're
made a
fucking
Jurassic Park
crazy.
30 years ago. I fucking
there
get
was
it.
nothing verbal.
You
or
are fucking
come on.
crazy. I loved it. I was like, hell fucking yes, Ellie.
We got one of the
Sadler.
one out of the way that I think was
I'm
fucking
glad.
so
'cause
bad.
You're crazy on that one.
But Ellie Sadler is introduced.
Yeah.
She's in charge.
She's just like the top of her field. Like
I'm not
she's always
exactly
been.
sure what she does. I'm not sure if you can
She's a
look that up, Sam.
phlebotomist.
I don't know what the fuck
That's
that
an
means.
expert on plants. So they call her in
Because the grasshoppers or the locusts are eating
the plants, correct?
Yes.
And she's specifically an expert on like prehistoric plants and all that, and they find the goddamn locusts that are the sizes of like 3 footballs.
Paleobotanist.
Okay.
So Ellie asks the farm owner, like, oh, why are they in your farm? Why aren't they in the farm next to him?
The farm next to him is just like perfectly untouched, like right at a line. There's like a clear like line.
The farm next to them plants using seed from biosyn, which means that biosyn is the ones that is doing this shit.
It's your first big like, hey, in case you didn't get the vibes already, biosyn's probably the bad guy.
Yes.
It's just getting you that. But it's also kind of again, I didn't like these bugs, but I was like, okay, that's kind of cool that like they have these like things that like they're sabotaging other, like it's like evil corporate America type bullshit. Like I'm gonna like I have crops that like my shit, they won't bother my shit. It's like very cool big brain bad guy stuff. So I was actually kind of cool with the whole like idea of like biosyn has this seed that like they don't fuck with.
Yeah.
But again,
it wasn't what you wanted. You wanted dinosaurs, not bugs.
I just didn't want bugs. Yeah, again.
So Ellie decides she needs help. So she goes and finds our next legacy character, who is Alan Grant.
Yes, sir.
And Alan's at a dig site.
Where he's best suited.
Yes.
And I think, I could be wrong, but isn't he like talking about raptors and how they like killed someone?
Ooh, I don't remember.
I think he's like talking to people about, and it's very reminiscent of like when he's explaining to the kid, like the first time you meet him, he's explaining to the kid. But he's kind of doing the same thing. He's like talking about how like raptors hunting herds and all that, and the guy comes in, he's like, "Hey, Dr. Grant, you're gonna want to see this."
And it's Ellie. Yeah. And she goes up to him and she says, "Oh,
you can tell they clearly haven't seen like a long time."
Yes, they do have a talk about. They have a talk about, oh, we haven't seen you in so long. All our kids in college. Oh, how's your husband? Oh, I'm not with him anymore. Hinting that they're gonna get together.
Yeah.
Very cheesy shit that was unnecessary. He says,
yeah, that it's very cheesy, but you knew they were gonna play that Ellie Alan love story to death because it's like the one thing the whole Jurassic Park community always hits on that they like really didn't do in the first movie.
And oh god. We'll address that later, I guess. But he says, if this keeps on going, there's not going to be any crops. We're all going to be hungry. But it's like, no, biosyn. You have dinosaurs you could eat, right? That's what I was getting at. I was like,
no, that's a very,
we eat pigs and everything else. What the fuck can't eat a dinosaur?
how do you feed your pig? What do pigs eat? Grain. And where do grains come from? Plants.
I guess.
Wheat. That's the thing. That's what they're talking about.
I'm very much a person.
You can't have what you eat as meat without the next smallest thing.
No,
You
yeah.
can't have without that. So if you take out plants, which is the basis of all life, and this coming from a dude who doesn't eat vegetables, bro. Fucking hate plants. Hate salads. But you take that away, you can't have your food chain.
Can't have my pig or the cows.
Implodes, dude.
That's fine. I guess I'm always concerned about me and maybe my kids. I'm not concerned about my great grandkids.
Yeah, but I will say this movie,
fuck them.
as much as the bugs do suck, this movie did a great job of showing how rapidly these bugs were moving.
Yeah.
They were like showing the map of the Midwest like in 2 weeks, like the red spot like moving. So like these things were like, because that was the whole thing, is like very quickly you realize like these bugs, there's a lot more of these bugs than like you're just seeing. Like it's a swing.
Oh, they're fucking giants.
These things
too,
are big and they're like multiplying and getting out of control. Like,
well, the bigger problem too is like they're not saying in Alan. I'm not saying he blows out of proportion, but the problem is that they're going to eat everything and there's going to be nothing for anything else to eat. The problem is just that Biosyn is going to be the one that has them all, because the Biosyn fields were fine, which means that they're still going to have fields. They're still going to have grains.
yeah.
Yes, but not enough.
Yeah, correct. It's just like that's halving your shit.
Biosyn will just fucking plant their shit in the farm that is all eaten. Like they're gonna move over, which means that the grasshoppers are eventually just gonna die out.
I feel like that's a very like black and white way of looking at it.
It's a very black.
Maddie is a very black and white.
Yeah, and that's fine, but that's not the way.
Well, it's the same way of looking at it. It's not my problem that the fucking grains are gonna be gone, because I'll have in my lifetime the fucking grains are gonna be there. I'm
but
not
what
gonna
if
have
they're
to worry.
not?
Then we'll move on to the Biosyn grains, and I'll have the Biosyn.
But what if you can't get the Biosyn grain because the town next to you bought all the Biosyn food?
Biosyn's trying to take over the world.
I understand that, but what if that doesn't happen? What if what do you just fuck you and your family because you don't live the block over?
Nah, man, I got enough dinosaurs to eat. It's all good.
Oh, good luck with that, bro.
Fuck, dude, I'll kill dinosaurs with my bare hands. But
crazy.
That's why Maddie's a union worker.
Yeah.
All right, you can't have these conversations with him.
So Ellie wants to go to Biosyn because she wants to get a DNA sample from a grasshopper. And he's like, well, how the fuck are we going to get in there? And she says, well, I was invited by my friend, our friend, Dr. Ian Malcolm.
Of course, works for the fucking bad company, dude.
Yes.
Hilarious. It's just typical, like, Ian, like, of course that, like, he's taking the paycheck fucking lecturing at the, like, clearly the bad guys. You know what I mean? It's just, it's very on brand for, like, everything Ian Malcolm does. Yes.
So that's all they leave it at for there.
Correct.
And then they jump back over to the cabin. And Beta, who is Blue's baby, is taken by the mercenary Rain.
Well, before that, though, I want to say there's a fucking awesome moment. It's Maisie sees Beta and Blue. And Owen comes out, and because she's kind of talking to Beta and like, oh, you're a cute raptor and all that, and then Blue comes out, and it's that whole moment of like, oh shit, Mama showed up, and Maisie's just kind of there, and Blue is like kind of like getting a little aggressive.
She recognizes Blue first too.
Well, exactly.
Like Maisie's like, oh shit, you're Blue.
Yeah, correct. But and then Owen comes out and notices Blue and is like, don't move, like, and gives Blue like, hey, and it's a really cool, like, control moment where like you can still tell like Owen has that like respect and command over Blue, even though Blue's like free. Like he's like, oh shit, you had a baby, and then she kind of gives that look, and he's like, don't do this, like just do your thing, and then Blue just runs away. You know, it's one of those, and it's just cool to see.
Oh, that's the part where Blue bites him, actually, isn't it?
No,
it's not.
Later.
My
That's
bad.
later.
I jumped ahead of.
No, and that is later, because that is also the moment where he gives the
promise.
That's the promise.
Yes,
this one though is where he gets like he steps towards Maisie. Blue takes a step and he just is like, back up, and like screams at her, and she stops and like kind of takes one step back, and it's like that's the shit where it's like you forget Owen's the raptor trader, dude. You know what I mean? Like he's the least scared of these dinosaurs out of anybody. Yeah. So like it's cool to see he still has that command, and it's just nice to see Blue. And that's when Owen's also like, holy shit, Blue, you had a kid. Like, that's kind of weird.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, they don't really talk about it. He's just like, all right, like, okay. And then they just run off. And then they kind of have that talk again of how, like, you know, you can't go out here and there. You can't ride. whatever, and then Macy fucking gets on her bike and rides away and gets...
Yeah, so Beta's taken by a mercenary, and you kind of hear you could hear Blue screeching or yelping or roaring, whatever the fuck a raptor does. Yeah. And Owen's like, fuck, I gotta go see what's going on. And Maisie wants to go with him, and he's like,
because he knows that Blue's still like a subject, like just like Maisie's being looked for. He knows Blue still, because the whole fucking last movie is about them trying to capture Blue, because it's this like one of one specimen. She's the one that. So it's that idea of like, even though Blue's free, like Owen's always kind of like making sure no one's coming and trying to like steal Blue.
So he goes in to see what's up, and Maisie's like, "Oh, I'm gonna come." And he's like, "Nah, stay behind." So she decides, "Well, fuck you. If you're not gonna let me go
I guess 13 years old. I want in on this. I'm gonna get on a bike and go myself."
So
see ya.
Owen goes and he tries to investigate, and they start shooting at him, and they get away with Beta. And Maisie gets to the bridge, and she's
same shit
on both ends of the bridge.
Bad guys.
She fucking bad guys. So they take Maisie, and Owen sees it happening. So Owen's like, "Holy fuck!
I gotta go get Claire.
We gotta fucking go." And she goes, "I know just the right."
This is when I think this is actually a really cool scene. Too.
This is the
Even
part
though it's kind of silly, but it's Claire. They both like are hysterical. Like, we gotta go, and Claire's like, "Hey, I know someone that can kind of like help us. We gotta get going." So Claire's like walking out of the house talking to Owen, turns around, and Blue's like there.
Yeah.
Like, you know, like, and that's that moment of like, it's obviously Claire, so like she's not gonna get eaten by Blue in the first 10 minutes of the movie, but at the same time, it's that like gut check, like, oh shit, this is a pissed off like Mama Blue, and like Owen comes up and gives that like, do not move, because she's like in between him.
This is pissed off mommy now.
That's what I'm saying. Like Blue is very angry and like making a bunch of noise and like doing kind of erratic movements, and then Chris like kind of gets up close and is trying to do his like dino whisper bullshit, and Blue just fucking slashes the shit out of his hand, and instead of doing anything, he just gets real stern with her, and then is like, "Dude, I promise I'll find your kid." And like that's the like whole like, oh, the human and dinosaur, the joke talking.
Of it,
But again, then like Blue kind of gives him a look and then just fucking.
Dude, some people put coats on their cats and shit. So let him talk to his
true. Yeah, no, again,
which and I feel like in a way this scene kind of let me down, because I get it. You know, they have the relationship, but I feel like for Blue being as smart as she is, she should have sensed that, okay, Mama Claire is Mama Blue in the same situation. Like, hey, Claire should have been the one to make this promise, and it would have been a bond between them two. Some people might have said it was cheesy, but it was something that I think might have been a little bit better.
I could get that, but I do think
I think she did that more with Owen, because she knows that Owen takes care of Maisie now.
Owen has guns, and Claire just.
Well, but no, like that's still like a parental figure.
No, I think, and then it's always going to come down to Owen and Blue. They're like
they're tight.
They're like a tag team almost, like a duo. You know what I mean? Up to this point, they were like
he helped raise her.
It's like his
at that
kid
point,
almost.
I thought Owen was going to open the back of the trunk and they were going to fucking go at together.
I kind of was like, oh, I wonder if Blue's getting in on this. Yeah, but I was kind of glad they kind of like left her out, because it's like, do we need another like? Yeah, it gets real kitschy real quick if like they have literally like a pet raptor now with them that's just chilling that they can bring them with. You know, it's like. I don't really need that.
The shit was rolling through my head. I'm like, is she gonna sit in the fucking passenger side?
But again, you can't roll. That's the beauty about Jurassic Park. You can't really roll any of that shit out. So you got to be like, all right. But yeah, Blue just kind of takes off, and then Claire fucking is like, oh, I know someone we can call.
Yes,
and calls.
And they jump over to Franklin. Yes,
which is now working for the CIA, which is a crazy, ironic and I guess convenient job to have for someone that needs. You know what I mean? In these
he does say at first, though, he's like, "This is like the only thing I can do, though," because like from the last movie, he is a hacker.
So they do set it up. It's just like, well, damn, this is very convenient that they can call the guy in the CIA to get them information
that knows everything
that they can't get anywhere else, and he's like, away, he's like, no, but then like within 2 seconds, he's like. All right, well, here. You know, it's just like, it's just like, all right, they wanted to get Franklin back in the movie, and like, that's cool or whatever, but it just was one of those scenes where I was like, okay, let's just get to where we need to get to.
Yeah,
but without that scene.
They do call Franklin, and Franklin comes out, and he does help them, even though he doesn't want to at first. And he goes, yeah, I know Rain, basically. He pulls him up on an iPad, and he's like, yeah, is this him? Well, we can get to him. He does shit with the black market with dinosaurs, but the only way that you're going to be able to get to him is if you go through the black market, and we have somebody working undercover, and they bring back Barry. I can't remember his last name, but it's Barry, and he's the black dude from the first movie who helps.
He's
Owen
like
train
Owen's
the
like
raptors.
trainer guy.
Yes, and he's a cool character. I remember
really
liking
cool
him in the
character.
first movie, and it was cool that they brought him back.
I agree.
And that's all they say. They don't even introduce him yet. They just say, you're going to have to go see Barry, so you're going to have to go away, and you're going to have to catch rain in the black market.
Yep.
And that's the end of that scene. From there, they go back over to Alan and Ellie. Yep. And Alan and Ellie get to Biosyn. Mm-hmm. They arrive, and they meet Ramsey.
I like Ramsey.
Ramsey's cool. You're hesitant with Ramsey.
That's why I liked him. The entire movie, you're kind of like,
I don't know about
what side is this guy playing?
Maybe.
You know what I mean? But I liked him too. Like his performance was cool. He was he's a likable character, but like he's a cool kind of guide type character.
He's the head of communications at Biosyn. It's set up later on that he's like second in command there. Basically,
he's literally like the Claire of Biosyn. Yeah, if you think about it, you know what I mean.
From
like,
Jurassic,
he's
from the
kind of like the Claire of Biosyn, who's like sent to kind of.
He's got the answers of where everything's at,
and he's there to kind of like show them a good time because obviously Dodson and Malcolm are busy at times, you know, because they're the head guys. So yeah,
he shows them around Biosyn. He gives them a tour of everything. They eventually get to
which Biosyn is pretty cool, by the way, too. Like the labs and everything. Like it's a cool like.
If they were actually doing what they said they were doing, you're like, this is great.
Yeah, 100%. And it's one of those things they show you all the good. It's like floor 1 is all of our help the community projects, and if you go to the basement, like we're selling heroin and prostitutes. You know, that's exactly what was going on in Biosyn, dude.
So he gives them the tour. They eventually end up at a lecture hall where Ian Malcolm is.
Ian's doing what he does best, which is lecturing the young minds on like chaos theory.
And it's so fun to see Jeff Goldblum in this character
because it's like him.
It's him.
It's him. He's just not as extravagant as like the Grandmaster is in Thor. He's not as bad as that, but he plays this role so well.
You can tell he really likes this role. Yeah, and it's probably because it's the role that gave him like everything. Yeah, but it's also I think. When you're an actor, there's certain roles that you just connect with. It's like, okay, I get this. I know how to play this guy, or I know this guy, or this guy's like me. And I, like, because again, Ian Malcolm is just like Ian Malcolm in the book. It's not like Jeff Goldblum made this character up. Like, that's kind of how Ian Malcolm is in the book. But it's just like one of those things where, like, life imitates art. You know what I mean? Yeah, like, I think they just nailed it with who he is, and he just brings all this energy. Yeah. To the character, and it plays wonderfully off of like Alan Grant, who's like the anti Ian Malcolm, which is hilarious because it's like that in Jurassic Park 1, and they just took this and they're like, well, now we're gonna add like 30 years of bullshit on that, and it's I really enjoyed Ian and like Alan's relationship throughout the whole movie.
It was interesting because they age Alan up a little bit, like he doesn't know how modern technology works. Like even Ellie says, "Oh, he slid into my DMs," and he's like, he did what?
That's a line I hated.
Yeah, it's one of those cheesy things where they're slamming some nostalgia.
But again,
not nostalgic, but they're slamming some old jokes down your fucking throat. They do get to Ian is in the middle of like signing autographs on his books and shit, and he goes, "Oh, I gotta get to my friends. Sorry guys, I'll see you later at the next lecture." He's talking to Ellie and Alan, and Ramsey's following closely behind, so you're still not sure about Ramsey. Yep. And he goes and orders coffee. Because he knows that the coffee's going to make a lot of noise, and he
gets Alan going too.
He does. he orders something. He's like, "Oh, what do you want to drink?" I can't remember what he gets pissed about.
It's like either like your typical like people getting mad about like venti sizes and wanting to meet. It's like something like that where like he starts talking to the barista and like he's like he's having like one of those old man moments, and as soon as that happens, like and the brewer starts on, like. Malcolm instantly just turns to Ellie and is like, "Yo, you're completely right about Biosyn.
It's the grasshoppers.
These guys are fucking terrible." And he does an awesome like. It's one of those corny like, okay, we're just gonna get out all the like, these are the bad guys. This is what they're doing. I'm trying here to help you. They pay me good, but I'm kind of like on the inside. I don't fuck with these guys. So if you want to take them down, I'm down. Like, I don't give a shit. I'm an agent of chaos anyways, you know?
He gives him his, like,
and he slips her,
card.
like, the bracelet, which was really cool. Like, he kind of, like, just... And it's not, like, he does it in a special way, but it's, like, he, like, is kind of giving you that, like, here's your card to get on whatever levels you need to get on. Like, go do you, because I have to still play, like, my part of it.
I don't want them to think anything of me.
Because, like, and you realize, like, real quickly, like, okay, cool, they have kind of like a mole, almost, like, in Biosyn. Like, Ian's their inside cut to all of this. So it was a cool moment. Like I said, I really liked the handoff. And the whole time, too, it's funny because what they're kind of talking about and what Ian's saying is he's really kind of like usual, like hitting on Ellie and like hinting at things. And you can tell Grant's very jealous and also like wondering like, did these dudes do something and all that? And he's kind of thinking like, God, Ian's the biggest piece of shit. What a scumbag. And then like, as soon as he's not paying attention, like, Ian's the hero who he's like, yeah, here's the badge. You're going to get through the thing. Like, these guys are evil. Let's save the day kind of thing. And it's just then Grant gets his coffee and has no idea anything just happened. Like, he's just, and then Ellie's like, all right, let's go. Like,
because he tells Ellie, like, oh, you go to floor 6, look for L4.
Yeah, he tells them literally, like, everywhere they need to go and go look for.
And then Ramsey shows up and he's like, hey, you guys want a half hour? You know, just I'll meet you guys in a half hour. Go do whatever you want. That's when I knew
he was good. The moment he said, yeah, and if you go through those doors, it takes you downstairs. That's what gave it up for me.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, why would you even say that sentence if you didn't want to help them?
No, so you're like, okay, so he's like Ian's like assistant, really. Like they're like, okay, him and like Ian are like this thing.
And then you find out he hired Ian. And
it's you have this very like, okay, they're together, but you still don't fully like trust him. Yeah, you know what I mean? You're like, okay, he's helping him, but he just seems he's still like one of those characters. They're trying to build him kind of like a villain. Like he has a villainous like air about him.
Well, no, not
villainous.
At the beginning, Steve Jobs is all like, I'm just gonna call him Steve Jobs.
Oh, that's true.
He's just
he
like
vouches that like that's
he's
his
my right hand man. He's
that's
gonna become me. I'm too busy being me, so he's me when I'm not me.
That's
basically,
true.
Is what I got from that speech. So that's where I got the bad vibes from. Of you know what, maybe not. But yeah, once he said, oh yeah, and if you go through those doors.
So he lets them go. He's like, hey, in a half hour, meet me back up here, guys. And the next scene is where we see Dotson, and Dotson is talking to Dr. Henry Wu.
Oh, dude, this guy is back again and still fucking everything.
So Henry Wu is the doctor from the first Jurassic Park.
He's in all of them.
He's in. Is he in all of them?
He doesn't show up in all of them.
Okay.
He's the only one that's like worked for InGen. He's been part of every single dinosaur iteration. He's the main doctor.
They basically make it like he's the one that was able to develop the cloning shit. He's the man behind the curtain in a way.
And he has fucking made these bugs.
Yes.
He's engineered these big ass bugs, and he's clearly like. He's unlike all the other movies where he's like, oh, this is this. He's very quick to be like, hey, this is getting out of control.
He's remorseful. He knows he fucked up at this point.
At this point, he wants redemption.
Yeah, and I'm tired of it. At this point, I don't give a shit. This guy should have got eaten by dinosaurs fucking 4 movies ago. Dude, I'm sick of it. And I
was sick of him until this movie.
No, this movie did not redeem him at all for me.
Oh, fuck you. I definitely do. No. Absolutely. He fucking saved... I'm not trying to jump too far ahead, but he saves the whole fucking world.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying.
How is he not redeemed?
No.
He's redeemed for sure.
No.
Anyways.
He started the problem. At least he cleaned it up.
He did.
Yeah, I get...
He's the only one with a redemption arc in this entire fucking movie.
Yeah, I know. I understand that.
So how are you gonna say he's not redeemable?
I'm saying I don't like him as a character. Yeah, I don't like him.
That's because he's a bad dude.
No, I don't.
He learned from his ways.
No. Yeah. I don't like him just because it's that classic like, okay, so now after 6 movies, now we're gonna get remorseful right off the bat. Like and again, you're getting remorseful after you've already again created a goddamn bug that's ruining the goddamn fucking world. So now he's remorseful once again, not because he's caused 30 years of bullshit. He's now created another super bug that has gotten out of control where now he's like, oh, damn, I'm really fucking up for the 27th time in fucking 30 years.
Maybe it's because it was bugs and not dinosaurs.
I should change it. And like, that's what fucking pissed me off is like, it's beyond time for this guy to feel remorseful, dude. Like,
I agree with that.
You had to make how many dinosaurs, kill how many people, and now it was fucking you making bugs that are now eating crops uncontrollably and multiplying, that now you feel like you've crossed the line. Fuck you, Dr. Wu. Fuck you, dude. But he is back. It's the original actor. He's back. Whatever.
Yes, he's a legacy character in a way.
Yes, he's, like I said, he's like one of the only ones that's been in like almost all of the Jurassic Parks in some way. He voices all the video games. He's in all the video games. So, like the actual actor, he does all the.
I also love him in Father of the Bride.
Okay.
He's great in Father of the Bride.
Yes.
Next scene. So we go to Malta. So Malta is
one of my favorite parts of the movie.
Is a lot of this. Is pretty much everything in Malta.
Is the black market.
Yes.
Dino.
So they get to Malta, and Dotson calls this woman. Her name is Sonoya.
Another just like, hey,
Santos.
This is a villain. Like
yes.
she's just,
and she looks like a villain.
That's what I'm saying.
Yes.
Like they've just like clearly like. Okay.
When I mentioned Russian dude, like Russian dudes are always bad guys.
No,
or like
she's like in like
accents.
a white like suit type thing at one point, and like she has like the glasses. She's just like clearly like, okay, she's a terrible person.
So Dotson calls this woman Sonoya. I think that's her name.
Santos is what they call her mainly. It's her last name is Santos.
Okay. Yeah. And he wants to make sure that Maisie and Beta got there okay. So this is where it's kind of revealed that Dotson is the one who had the hit out for Maisie and Beta.
Biosyn is essentially responsible for Maisie and Beta being stolen.
Yes. This is the big
reveal
reveal
again,
on that.
In case you haven't realized at this point, Biosyn is the actual villain of this movie. Like this is the final like, hey, we took the children.
Yes. And so this is where it's revealed, and then Owen and Claire also arrive to Malta, and they find Barry. And Barry's like, hey, here's the black market, guys, and you see some cool shit here. I don't know if you want to hit on some more of that.
I will.
I don't know the fucking dinosaurs.
I'll name some just because it was cool, and it was cool to kind of see them. We see some pretty heavy hitters too, because it's like clearly like an exotic underground dinosaur flea market.
It's cool.
It's cool. It's they have like cockfighting with dinosaurs going on.
They do.
On chains, which become a big part coming up here. Those dinosaurs actually come. Mm-hmm. I'm pretty sure that those are baryonyxes. I could be wrong because they look very much smaller than they usually are. I looked online, but I couldn't really find this dinosaur. But I think that's what they are, and they're kind of like water alligator T-Rexes almost in a way, but they're a lot smaller. Okay. And I think the ones in the movie were like adolescent versions that were on the chains, like fighting in the pit. You see a couple like Triceratops and stuff. We see an Allosaurus and a Carnotaurus, which are both known as like T-Rex type dinosaurs. A lot of people see them and kind of think T-Rex. If you've seen a Carnotaurus is the dinosaur from the movie Dinosaur. Yeah. The bad guy, the bad dinosaur in Dinosaur is a Carnotaurus. And Allosaurus, I want to say, was in the Lost World. I think an Allosaurus is in the Lost World. Okay. I could be wrong. But it looks like a T-Rex, but you see them kind of in like these big cages kind of things. So it's like, holy shit, they have T-Rexes here. I don't know. They have all sorts of shit, and people are just like wheeling and dealing like dinosaurs and gambling, and like it's just it's like the meeting of all the villains who are selling dinosaurs illegally. It's cool though. There's a lot of really cool, and I will say this: no matter what this movie is, good or bad, all of the dinosaurs looked fantastic.
They do.
Both
they really do.
Animatronically, and now they used a lot more animatronics for these dinosaurs in this movie in general than the past two. Yes. So since the originals, they went really heavy CGI, and this movie they brought back mostly animatronic and then used CGI to help it. So you can see it too. You can see where it's like, holy shit, that's a robot dinosaur.
And the digital ones look fucking great too.
And I will so like no matter what this movie is, at the end of the day, the dinosaurs looked fucking incredible. Yes.
So we get to see. I'm not exactly sure what or why Owen leaves Claire, but Owen leaves Claire, and this is where Claire meets Kayla in the bathroom. And Correct. Kayla was actually she's introduced as a pilot. And she was there when Maisie and Beta were switched off when she first arrived to Malta. And she sees Maisie, and she's like, it's kind of weird. She thinks to herself, this is kind of weird. What the fuck's this kid doing? But she doesn't say anything because she doesn't fucking know. So
and you can tell she's like a black market pilot. Like she doesn't. She's not the most outstanding citizen, probably.
She's not a cop. Yeah. It's not her fucking job to be doing it. So Claire meets Kayla, and they sort of make a bond because they're both American, but Kayla's basically warning her like, hey, you know, you don't fucking belong here. You know, you're...
I can tell like you're
I can smell new fish, you know.
Yeah, and like this is a place you'll get fucking hurt.
Yes. So Sonoya meets Rain, the dude who stole Maisie and Beta, and Sonoya's like, hey, we got these thanks for doing that one job, but we got the next job for you, and it's smuggling these raptors. You got to get them back to wherever. I'm not exactly sure where she wants her to go. Mm-hmm. But this is where fucking Barry and Owen decide now is the time to go after Rain. And they fucking flip the switch on this whole deal, and a chase happens.
Yeah, and before the chase, they get in like a little scuffle with like the dudes in the like throughout the market.
Yes.
Which we get awesome dude gets his like head fucking bitten off by a dinosaur.
Yeah,
this is
where we
first like human dinosaur deaths we see, which is it's a good one too. Like because they're fighting and it's like Gladiator almost. They're fighting and there's the two dinosaurs that were on chains are in there, so like there's a length issue where like they keep coming and trying to bite them, but they're stopped by the chain. So it's that whole kind of thing. And then finally they're trying to like get the name out of the guy and he gives it up and then he just gets fucking eaten by one of them and it's like, oh okay.
Yes.
Like, let's go. This was the moment where all of a sudden I was like, okay, now we're getting back to where I wanted. Like, this is what we want. We want people dying. We want all this. And before they get into this chase, they have to go through the explanation of, like, not only are these fucking, like, 4 raptors all, like, deadly, clearly, like, bad guy raptors, they're all trained to kill by laser pointer.
Yeah, from Fallen Kingdom, they have this, where this...
Correct.
Whatever fucking or whatever... dinosaur
and I would say and what it is they're actually Atrociraptors. Just so they're not Velociraptors, they're different from what Blue is. Blue's
is this a real thing or is this one of those spliced DNA things?
No, this Atrociraptor's a real raptor.
Okay.
That's why I'm saying it's different. A lot of people assume all Velociraptors are like it's like dogs, you know what I mean? Like there's different raptors are the breed and then there's different types. Velociraptor, these are Atrociraptors.
Gotcha.
Atrociraptors.
Okay.
Which doesn't, again, they look very much like a regular raptor, except they're just like bad guy. They're like red and like albino. They just look like ferocious like beasts. Like,
and it's cool because Sonoya has this fucking bracelet or like a laser pointer. Yeah. She just keeps pointing at
it. Again, it's really dumb because the idea is like too. It's not even like she keeps it pointed on him the whole time. It's like when she hits him with the dot, she like runs away, and it's like okay, they just know that. That's the target until it's dead?
I have imprinted.
Okay.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Like, I don't... Like, but again, that's just enough that I need in a movie like this for, like, why we now get a motorcycle raptor chase.
Yes.
Like, yep.
Which is arguably the coolest fucking scene in the entire
It's one of the coolest, like, to get a car chase in general for, like... It's like a 5-minute car chase. And it's legit. They're going through all sorts of shit, but then you just take out another car and add a couple raptors... Mm-hmm. It's awesome.
It is. It was fucking
really cool.
It was awesome.
The raptors are really cool. The way they kind of like get fucked up is kind of cool. I mean, I'm tired of all these movies doing like the clothesline effect when they're getting chased by people because I feel like for some reason it's just every movie's doing it nowadays. But it was fucking awesome to see a velociraptor catch a pipe to the face and do like a triple backflip. Like that was sick.
And yet it still gets up like.
Oh yeah,
let's go.
I don't know if that one gets up. I think that one might stay down.
You think?
Yeah,
I think it got back up.
Because that's when so Claire is running away and she actually gets away, but she lands and Kayla helps her.
She's in the van with Kayla.
Yeah, so Kayla. This is where Kayla decides, okay, I'm gonna butt in. I'm gonna make this my problem.
Claire shows Kayla a picture of Maisie, and she's like, "Do you know this girl?" And Kayla's kind of like, "Is that your daughter?" And Claire says, "Yeah." And she's like, "Yeah, I've seen her, but."
I'm not going to get involved.
I can't do this. Sorry, and just dips out, and that's when you've seen her. So you can tell it's one of those like it was eating at her conscience. She's a badass, happens to be in the right place, right time. Claire falls in like her truck essentially, and she's like, "All right, I'll drive you fucking away from these killer raptors."
So that's when she
Owen's just fucking dirt biking it.
Yeah, it's badass.
It's a really cool scene, and it's cool how he takes out his dinosaur. By like wrecking his motorcycle into it, and it just flings it into the goddamn ocean. It's like, well, now you're gonna drown. What do you think?
Because Kayla's like, "Hey, I'll fly you somewhere," and Claire goes,
"Oh, that's right. Sorry, yeah."
Claire goes, "Oh, you know what?
I need to call Owen. So she calls Owen, and she goes, oh, Owen, you need to get yourself over to the fucking airfield. I got a pilot. We're gonna get to Biosyn, because Rain was the one who got eaten by the dinosaur, and he gave up. Hey, it's at Biosyn.
Yep.
So this is where she goes, oh, Owen, I got a pilot. You got to get to the airfield. So it's a race, and it's intense. You're fucking watching. I was like, oh, this is great. My adrenaline's up. I'm watching this movie, and Owen just makes it onto the plane, and like you'd said, this is where he just launches.
It's pretty cool. Yeah, he like launches his bike because like of course one of the raptors also like gets on hanging on the plane almost kind of thing. Wow, because Owen barely gets up as they are lifting into the air. You know what I mean? And then the raptor barely claws on and is climbing up the back ramp.
He's getting sucked out of the back.
Yeah, because of
from the
all
pressure.
The air pressure. And then so Owen just like fucking lets his bike go and it just smacks the dinosaur and they both fly out the plane. So it's cool. It's like it was cool. It's a cool action sequence that was it was badass.
So they're on their way to Biosyn now, and they cut back to Biosyn, and Maisie is talking to Wu.
Yep.
And this is a big reveal.
This is a big scene. Like, this is like, hey, this is what the movie's really about, by the way. Like,
so Maisie, this is where Wu reveals that Maisie is not a clone. Maisie is the daughter to a woman named Charlotte, a scientist named Charlotte.
Yeah.
And Charlotte had a disease.
Well, the weird thing about Maisie is that she's not just a normal daughter of Charlotte. She was produced asexually.
Yes.
So it's weird. It's like a Virgin Mary, like, okay, just like a born baby.
The same
so
thing.
It's the same thing. Everyone thought that she was a clone, but she was just really she was
to
produced
an extent,
without.
she somewhat was, because remember how they said, oh, she has the same genetics, and she was going to have that same genetic disease as Charlotte, but then fixed her with science.
Well, that's what they're. Well, yeah,
But
I guess she was a clone in the sense of like she was just 100% of, because like when you have
Charlotte,
sex, you have
yeah.
you have 50-50 DNA.
Yeah, I mean, she's not really a clone though, because it's the same way that it's the same way that Beta is not a clone of Blue.
Correct,
because that's essentially what it is.
But the genetic makeup is damn near.
Yeah.
The whole idea though is now you realize that like Henry's and then through this he tells her that your mom also had a disease that came on early out of nowhere that killed her. She realized that she passed on the disease to you, and she fucking was able to fix it.
Yes.
Yeah, she cured you.
She cured you. And so now Wu's big thing is like, so look, if I can get your fucking blood or Beta's blood, because the shit's going on with Blue and animals and all that, he's like, I can hopefully replicate that and fight all sorts of sicknesses and diseases.
He wants to fight the grasshoppers.
He wants to locusts.
The locusts, yeah.
That's his big thing is like, I can also like reverse engineer these locusts, and they can kind of fix.
I can get rid of this problem.
I can fix all of this kind of shit, and
I can redeem myself.
Correct. It's his whole. So then, like, this is him when he's really playing the like, and by now he's already kind of voiced his opinion multiple times to Dodson of like, this shit is bad.
We need to stop.
Like, this shit's getting out of control. And Dodson's like, no, we're just going to keep going. We're going to keep going. So this is him finally peeling back the window, being like, look, your mom was a great scientist. You're not some freak project. Like, you're kind of like a miracle baby. And I'm not trying to, like, do evil experiments on you. Like, I just really need your blood to try to figure out if I can turn this into something that we can replicate to save the world kind of thing. Yes. Again, to fix his goddamn 75th Mets. But yeah, this is a big redeeming moment for him, and it's a good scene to kind of fill some holes to be like, okay, that's interesting. None of it really makes sense, but at the same time, it's like, okay.
It's science that you don't understand.
Again, we were talking about clones anyways, so it's like, all right, she's not a clone, but she was born out of nowhere. Sure. We'll roll with it. And for some reason, she really is now happy now. Maisie doesn't seem like the depressed emo chick anymore. She's kind of like, oh, I had like a real mom, and she was actually this lady that everyone really liked and smart. You know what I mean? So she like has now found new purpose, so to say. But at the same time, you do get like feelings of like, I don't trust Wu at all still. Like, I get he's trying to redeem himself, but I'm like, I don't want him just having full range of like tests on this fucking girl. Like, I don't trust this guy yet.
No, yeah, that part, like,
not yet.
I feel like a part of it would have been like, okay, Wu could have just been like, we'll let you go. Can I just have like a vial
That's
of your
the
blood?
whole crazy thing about it.
All I need is a little bit. Is that cool,
because
Maisie?
It's what's crazy is like it's not like they have to sacrifice her at all. And we're jumping ahead, but like towards the end of the movie, like when he's finally like comes to the decision, he's like, look, like what I've been saying this whole time is like if I can get some of her blood, like I can fucking reverse all of this. And Maisie's like, and they're all like, no, fuck you, bro, you're not touching her. And Maisie's like, no, it's cool, just let him do it. And I'm like, is this really like it's a blood test? This is what's coming down. It's not like damn, like most movies where they're like, damn, we need to kill this girl.
Bone marrow. We need to grind her fucking bones. Yeah.
Which again, that makes the stakes a little higher. But the fact they're just like, no, can I prick your finger real quick?
That's it. Oh,
yeah.
Fuck,
like,
why did you just say so,
yeah,
Woo?
you know what I mean. So it's one of those things. It's like so dumb, but whatever.
So while Woo is having this conversation with Dodson about, I don't even know what is he talking to him about. Woo's talking to Dodson for some reason, and this is where we jump back to Alan and Ellie.
Oh,
and
this is actually a scary scene.
And they sneak into this grasshopper or this locust containment.
It's like a pod.
Yeah, and it is a containment. They don't want these locusts to get away.
Yeah.
And she's like, "Oh, be quiet."
It's the room that Ian sent them to. It's like go to L4 or whatever. That's where you'll find what you need. And it's a room of just like corn stalks, like wheat stalks, and so you can't see anything, but you hear like just like little like rattling, like cicadas almost, and you're just like, there's tons of bugs in here, and then they're like flying through, and they're like, oh, these are little ones, these are this, these are that, and they like have to find the bin of the thing that Ellie's looking for.
Yes,
Ellie's
to
looking
get her
for
sample.
like her sample.
So
and
she,
it's just tons of like these bins of grass.
Yes.
And so you can't see anything, but you just know like
it's full of locusts.
it's full of these bugs.
and it's a fairly funny scene because she's like, "All right, grab it so I can get my sample." And he's like, "The fuck you talking about? I ain't grabbing it." She goes, "Well, I need to get the sample."
Which is funny because she's the one that like he didn't want to like touch the poop, and she was the one that like in the first movie went hands in the shit. Like so that's like
elbow deep.
Yeah, exactly. It's really funny.
So I'm not exactly sure what sets off. So
They see
while
him
they're
on
doing
camera.
while they're doing this, no, they don't see him on camera. This is when Maisie sets Beta loose, and that sets off the alarms.
Oh yeah.
And then the alarms wake up all the locusts, and they start flying everywhere. And that's when Alan and Ellie try to get out. So when they get out,
but I mean that scene alone was it like they're trapped in this room for a minute, and there's like these bugs just everywhere.
Raging.
Yeah, it's
I mean,
like
the
terrifying.
two children were scared of them, and now you're in a closed space with these fucking things.
Yeah, it's a very scary like, and they're like attacking them and like kind of cutting their clothes. Because they're huge. They're not like biting them and shit. It's just like they're giant fucking bugs flying in a close area. Like
it could be a fucking ladybug, and if it was giant, I'd be like, "Fuck that."
No, it's a horrifying, like gross, like God, this is a terrible situation to be.
It could be the nicest bug in the world. If it's fucking giant, I don't want any part of it. So they get away, and they get out of this containment, and this is where they run into Maisie because she escaped by letting Beta loose.
Correct.
And she gets out, and she recognizes Alan and Ellie. And Ellie recognizes Maisie, and she's like, "Oh, you're Maisie. I knew your mom." And it's kind of a big reveal.
It's actually a nice moment too.
It is.
It's like Ellie being like, "Hey, no matter what they're saying about your mom too," because there's like weird kind of like everyone's like, "Yeah, she's brilliant and all that," but there's weird like I don't know. She had this pregnant kid. Like I don't know. She just treated.
She may have
like
crossed some boundaries.
Yeah, she just kind of treated it as this like kind of weird. So like Ellie's very like, "Hey, your mom was like the greatest mind I ever knew. And by the way, like I may have not have known her much when she like had you and all that, but like she loved you while she was pregnant.
Yes.
Like she was very excited to have a daughter. Like she just gives Maisie validation like of her life and not like so much. It's just a connect to the past kind of thing where it's a lot of Maisie is like, I don't know who I am. I don't know where I come from. I don't know what's going
crisis.
on. Correct. And like Ellie gives that nice mom like Ellie always does of like, hey, everything's cool. This is what it was. So
it's hard to know because it's hard to know if in this movie they abandoned a storyline that they were going with because I don't understand why there was like older looking pictures of Maisie in the second movie. Like why was there pictures of Maisie who looked like she was alive in the 70s and shit, but Maisie isn't a clone. Maisie isn't a clone of anything from the 70s.
She's supposed to, I think, look like her mom.
But I guess
that's why she's like a clone, because again,
There was a picture
it's
of
again,
Charlotte
it's
as
that
a
idea of
daughter.
like,
So
when you
it
have
was-
a kid,
Right,
your
as a
kid looks
child.
like you and her, right?
Yeah.
But if you were just to have the kid, it's almost inheriting 100% of your
Okay.
genes. So in a sense, it's a clone, but it's not like
I get it now.
a clone of like
I'm cool with it.
building
I feel like
Maddie in a tube. It's just like it's coming from 100% your DNA. So in a sense, it's gonna
got
be.
you.
It's actually kind of a cool way to approach clones.
It is. It was just something
with a
that-
new angle.
just when I was watching it, I was like, what the fuck were those
I'll give
old
him
pictures
points for
for?
that. And I don't give this movie a lot of points, but I'll give him. That's actually an interesting spin on clones.
But yeah, so that was something. But
Yeah,
so they do get away.
it's a nice moment.
They do get away, and they start hearing some footsteps, and they tell Maisie, "Oh, hide." And this is where Ramsey turns the corner, and he goes, and this is where it's the big reveal of, "Hey, I'm the inside man."
Yeah, he like is straight up like go that way.
Yeah.
Like
I got this pod for you guys to get away. It goes to the airfield. I've been working with Ian. Like
Yep.
I'm the dude. I'm your guy.
Yep.
And it's a moment of relief because you're
And
like,
and
"Oh,
it's
thank you,
pretty
thank you."
convincing to the audience member too, where you don't feel like he's really playing games anymore. You're like, okay, at this point, like
Yeah.
this guy is actually a good dude.
Yes.
He says who he says he is. So.
So that's when it's also revealed because he's like, "Oh, get in the pod. You know, it's going to take you to the airfield. You guys can get the fuck out of here. You can get your sample out, and Biosyn's not going to catch you."
Yeah,
And
he kind
Alan-
of has their whole escape route like
Yes.
planned out for him.
So and that's when Alan goes, "Well, hold on a second," and he reveals, "Okay, they have Maisie too." And Ramsey's like, "Cool, another thing against Biosyn? Fucking get out of here, guys!"
Yep.
Puts him in the pod. They start heading out. And this is where we jump back to the plane. This is where I'm gonna not say pterodactyl, and Tyler's
Yep.
gonna.
I do want to mention one thing that we skipped that was probably one of my favorite things
Oh, okay.
in the movie that they showed in the trailer too, which kind of ruined it. But when all the shit's going on at the black market, they fucking release the Allosaurus and the Carnotaurus. And they're two apex predators who like
Yes,
want to
that's
kill
right.
each other. So these two T-Rex just instantly break out in like a fight amongst each other when they
Yeah.
get released, and
That
it's
was
all
cool.
these people. And then Owen, and then you kind of forget about him because they all get released and it's all hectic.
Yes.
You forget about him, and then here comes Owen cruising through like the main area, and there's just these two dinosaurs fighting in a plaza, and then the one dude just eats the guy off the scooter, which is what you see in the trailer. But it's like things like that, like those were the little parts of this movie where I like love that.
This
shit.
fucking
like,
guy this guy's on a stroll on his fucking scooter, like, "Oh, I don't hear these giant fucking
that just came out of this like
giant
underground
dinosaurs,
place.
yeah.
These two
He had his
dinosaurs
AirPods in.
pissed at each other.
Yeah, he had his AirPods in,
And
sure.
again, it's a moment that I just I didn't want to not
No,
mention
that
it
is-
'cause
that is a
I
cool
really
scene.
like that part of this.
Oh, how's that?
That whole
Again, yeah, the whole black market
yeah.
from the chase to the
Everything in Malta.
everything was awesome.
Everything in Malta.
was awesome.
It showed the dinosaurs blending into the real world. I feel
Yeah.
very well.
Yeah, that was cool. So the dinosaur that Maddie's referring to, though,
Yes.
so
Kayla-
they're all flying in a plane, and all of a sudden their shit just gets like fucking wrecked by what a lot of people would instantly assume like a pterodactyl because it's a flying dinosaur, and that's what everyone first assumes. But these are specifically literally the size of these planes. Like these
they're
aren't.
fucking
This isn't a
giant.
joke. It's known as the biggest flying like dinosaur ever found. I'm gonna butcher the name, but it's a Quetzalcoatlus. Quetzalcoatlus, I think it's called.
Totally.
I have the spelling and I try to spell it phonetically, but it's the one that I very much have trouble with. But yeah, it's a literal dinosaur. But you have pterodactyls that are like the size of big birds, and then you have these things which is like the size of a plane, and it just fucking smokes their plane. And they're not in a little like beater
No,
plane
they're in a
either.
big
They're
ass
in like a
fucking carrier.
fucking carrier, and this thing just picks it up like it's nothing and just decimates. the
Slashes
plane.
right through the fucking top of it.
And you're like, oh,
Takes
okay,
out an engine.
You're in trouble.
Say they're getting into Biosyn, and fucking Kayla's talking to somebody at their air traffic control type thing, and she's like, "Nah, you can't come in here because Dotson's right next to this air traffic controller." And he goes, "Nah, I know Owen and Claire are on that plane."
So he lets him in, and then he
turns off like
disables the AD. I think they call it like the ADS or AD something.
it's like an air
shield.
defense system of something,
Yeah, and
where
it's
it keeps
basically this thing that they've created to like contain and keep the airspace safe from fucking pterodactyls and shit and
Yes.
flying dinosaurs.
it's their fucking electric fence.
correct
in a way.
Yeah.
So they turn it off so that way their creatures can go at the airplane because they know they're going to be like, what the fuck?
Correct.
You know, pterodactyls and dinosaurs are going to be like, the fuck is that thing?
Yeah,
I don't like that.
Again, if you have seen all Jurassic Park movies and you're now at the 6th movie and you haven't realized that the movies are pretty much all about apex at the end of the day of like these creatures are just trying to figure out where they fit in the food chain.
Yeah.
This is the same when it goes in the air. So now that things are in the air, the big dinosaurs are going after the other big things in the air. And it just smokes their plane.
It smokes the plane. And this is where Kayla's like, I only got one parachute, guys. Yep. And Owen's... It's kind of a touchy moment. He's like, well, you get the parachute, obviously. You got to get to Maisie. You know, I'll make my way there.
Kind of thing.
Yes.
And you're the one that knows how to find her, you know, that.
And like hats off to Kayla because she's like, yeah, fuck it. Take the fucking thing. Take the last parachute. You know, I'll go down in the plane with Owen. We'll find our way. Which is another thing that I'm like, damn, fucking Kayla's bad bitch, man.
They're badass. But then again, as soon as they hit the eject button, as soon as they were about to do it, I was like, I will take my chances. Like, you're going to be in a parachute in the air with these things? Are you fucking crazy? And so as soon as they did it, and she, like, just lands in the thing, and then all of a sudden, like, the big bird flies away. Yeah. And then you just see the pterodons everywhere. Which, again, a pterodon is much like a pterodactyl. That's what everyone assumes a pterodactyl is, a pterodon. And all the pterodons come in and just start fucking smoking a parachute.
Slashing the parachute. So now she's fallen again.
It's a terrible situation to be in. It's something no one thought of and was terrible situation. But she falls, and like every main character that's ever fallen out of a plane with a parachute gets caught by a tree and is okay.
She's hanging.
We're okay. But it's, again, terrifying to think about sitting in like a parachute chair and pterodons are just flying at you trying to take you out, dude. Like... horrible.
Yeah, there's nothing you can do. You can't fucking move left or move right out of their fucking way. It's like being in the ocean and you see a fucking shark coming at you. There's no way you're out swimming that fucking shark.
Yep.
But yeah, so she gets ejected, she's falling, and at the same time, this is when Owen and Kayla crash into ice.
Another one of my favorite areas in this movie. Yes. This whole ice sequence and like whole thing was fucking awesome, dude.
So they get out of the plane and they're standing on this ice, and the ice is cracking. So they're going pretty slow.
Very slow. Yeah, they're doing the typical like walk a step, see how much it cracks. And
they're probably like 50 foot away from.
There's like
fucking
a
safe home.
There's like it's like a building,
a structure of some type with doors and fucking
like
poles
metal,
and shit.
like a walkway, catwalk type area.
So they're heading for that, and that's when this. Something else that
Pyroraptor. Pyroraptor. Okay. It's basically a velociraptor, but it's like what we see them now more as. They're way closer. They're later stages where they have like more feathers. And they're more so what like dinosaurs would probably actually look like.
This is in the trailer, so I'll have this on the video.
Yeah,
as well.
It's in the trailer. It's the one that looks like a raptor bird, but it's a real dinosaur. It's called a Pyroraptor,
and it's cool because this scene is fucking.
This thing is fucking.
This is the only scene in the movie,
dude.
This is the only scene in the movie where my feet were moving. Like I was getting antsy because I was I was as excited as the characters
and like
were.
This thing's like a raptor on steroids. Yeah. Like it's just got this like it has this look. Like first of all, like the contrast, it's like red and blue. Like it just looks so different than these green ass dinosaurs you've been used to staring at. It's got feathers, but it's got the fucking mouth and jaw of the raptor. Yeah. When it opens it, it's like, oh, that's a raptor, you know? And this thing is quick, and it kind of like moves side to side, and then the crux of it all is like this thing fucking falls in the water, and they're like, oh, okay, not a big deal, we got it in the water, and it just starts swimming like it's an expert's, like it's more deadly in the water than out of the water almost, and it's like, oh no, this is scary, and then it's just, they can see it fucking swimming under them because they can see it through the ice. Yeah. So it's such a cool mix of like elements and the ice and the water and all that shit with a hybrid like raptor thing, and I fucking loved everything.
It was a cool scene because this scene is where, like I had mentioned, like so Owen falls into the fucking ice, and you see this in the trailer as well. And
we're spoiling it anyways. So
and you're like, oh my god, there is no fucking way he's getting out of this. And he does get pulled out of the ice by
does.
Kayla.
He
Kayla doesn't
does.
leave him behind. She pulls him out. But at that moment when he's about to get taken, my fucking feet were in my chest. My knees were in my chest. I was like,
Because this is also like a good point in the movie where if you're a normal moviegoer and like enjoy movies and it's a sequel, you're kind of like, a main character could die at any point at this point. You know what I mean? Like we're far enough in this where it's like, they should probably start axing some people sooner or later.
Yeah.
So like the thought of like maybe Owen getting his fucking legs bit off right there, like probably not, but maybe.
Yeah.
You know, so it is cool. And they do a cool like escape into like an elevator as the thing like
is right there in front of him. You
like
can't get
bites
through the cage.
and it's like watching them as they get lowered down. It's a really, really cool fucking scene with this.
Yes, they get
beast.
They get away from this fucking thing, and then it cuts back to Claire, and Claire
This
gets
was actually a terrifying scene. Too.
Claire is stuck in the tree. I think she passed out, and she was
She like wakes up all of a sudden.
She wakes up, and you know that something's gonna be tall and fucking standing next to her, and it's
nothing.
I don't even know
like
what
we
this
thought.
is.
So it's called, and this is another. It's called a Therizinosaurus, and it's kind of. It's the dinosaur that I think helps bridge most people's minds to make them realize that dinosaurs are actually much closer to birds than they are like lizards. Most people assume most dinosaurs would be much more looking like birds and that kind of effect than like the scaly lizards that we see them as today. Steven Spielberg just made them giant lizards essentially. But from what we can tell, this thing is... It looks like a bird from hell. It's got a long fucking neck, these like 3
Edward Scissorhands,
claws.
it's like it's as tall as a Spinosaurus
tree.
or some shit like that.
It's like a T-Rex size. And the cool thing is though, like for some reason this one's like blind. And they don't explain it, but like the eyes are all like white and glossed over and you can tell
It's
it
got
can't
cataracts.
see. Yeah, it's literally what it is. And they don't explain like it's a bad breed or something went wrong. And I don't think it's like this dinosaur was a blind dinosaur or anything. It's just like it can't see, so it's just like you can tell smelling and listening to everything. And Claire's just like can't move, stuck in a tree.
She's
dude.
moving
like,
slow.
And then she finally drops down. When they show it in the trailer too, she has to end up going into the water and like sinking down, and the beak like goes like right on top of her head, and it breathes, and all these ripples. Like it's
intense.
It's like classic Spielberg and Jaws of like. We're just going to let the moment and nothing actually build this whole thing. And nothing's going to happen. But your heart is going to make you feel like at any moment this is going to go very badly.
Yeah.
And it's a really cool thing. And then the thing just like fucking ups and just walks away. And it's like, okay. Claire's okay. Like, okay.
I feel like I just drowned because there's no way I'm coming out of this fucking water.
No, the next thing is when
Yeah.
I believe the T-Rex appears when they're on their way to the amber mines.
Okay, so then this would cut back to Alan.
Correct.
Alan and the crew in the monorail.
Because there's the deer. They're like going to like the like mine deposit.
Okay.
It's either Alan or Owen. This is my next note, and then right after that's the I'm pretty sure this all whatever. Regardless, there's a deer, and we see the OG T-Rex. Mm-hmm. We finally see him. You can see the scars, so I knew right away. I was like, okay, this is our girl. You know, this is the original one. And then out of nowhere, the fucking Gigantosaurus also comes into play, which is the big bad dinosaur of this movie. Last movie was the Raptor and all that shit. This movie is the Gigantosaurus,
and this is
a real movie. This is a real dinosaur.
Oh, it is. Okay.
Yeah. This isn't a genetically in-gen made.
So what
dinosaur.
the fuck? So which ones are actually genetically? Is Spinosaurus the only fucking?
No, Spinosaurus is a real dinosaur. The Raptor was the first non-made. I mean, technically, they're all fake and all being made in a lab.
So the only one that was actually
like fake that like the studio
was the one
made
from
up.
Fallen Kingdom.
Not a fossil.
Correct.
So the one from Fallen
Kingdom. The one
Kingdom.
that changes colors and is like invisible and shit.
Okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Other than that, yeah, like that's the biggest recorded carnivore ever is a Gigantosaurus.
Okay.
And I think it was found in like Utah. Regardless, whatever. But yeah, so that's a real like you can go see those fucking dinosaurs. That thing fucking smokes the T-Rex in like 3 seconds. They get into like a little alpha match. It bites the fuck out of the T-Rex's like face, and the T-Rex instantly like just kind of like goes the other way.
Like a dog between tail between dog's legs.
The Gigantosaurus doesn't like chase it down or anything like that. It just like is clearly like, okay, I'm the dominant one.
That's my deer.
And then just takes the deer and walks off.
Yeah.
And that's when I'm pretty sure all three of them are like, holy shit. And then they go into the Amber Cave, which leads you to crazy shit.
Yeah, so Alan and the crew, their monorail stops and they get off and they start going.
So maybe that is with Owen. Whatever. We run across the T-Rex. You see the Gigantosaurus.
I actually think Owen and Kayla are the one hiding from they see the deer.
Either
way, all it is to introduce hey, the T-Rex isn't the big bad guy.
They see the dead deer because when they see the blood on the ground, right where the seat.
Claire's you're right.
Yes, they're like,
they
holy
find
shit,
Claire's.
Is that Claire's blood?
You're
and
so
then
right.
They look over and they see
finally
the deer.
make it to Claire's.
So it's Owen.
Parachute.
So Owen and Kayla are the one that see this.
Yes, because then they're like, okay, that's the blood of the deer.
And
Let's
then they
follow
see
some tracks to see where Claire is.
Correct. Okay. Correct. And then it flashes back to Alan and all them, and they're at the Amber Mines, which is a really cool place to put them. Yeah, they had to put them in some kind of cave or something to sneak them out. But they made it like, oh, this was the original hot spot of all of our amber.
Yeah,
where
this is where we found the mosquitoes.
Really cool.
Yes, it was cool.
And also, one of my favorite personal dinosaurs finally got to show up in Jurassic Park.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I don't know what it's called.
At first, I thought it was a Spinosaurus because all you see is them go through this little cave door, and it's all water, and you see a fin just kind of creeping, following them. And I was like, oh shit, they're gonna get locked in there with a Spinosaurus because you can't really tell how big it is. But it's actually a Dimetrodon. And Dimetrodons are like these little alligator-looking carnivores.
With a big ass fin.
With a big fin, and that's all. They're kind of like the fish dinosaur. They're like a really popular aquatic dinosaur without getting really nerdy about dinosaurs.
I remember always having a toy.
Correct. You know what I mean? It's like one of the mainstream
typical. If you didn't have a fucking Triceratops or a T-Rex, you had that one.
So I've always really liked these dinosaurs. So I was like, holy shit, we got them, and we got tons of them. Yeah, they're just littered in this cave, and they have to basically just not get eaten by all of these guys as they chase them through the caves. It's again, this is why isn't the whole movie like this? This is what I wanted, just terrifying situations with dinosaurs that it's how do we get out of this? Because we're in a cave and there's 30 of these little fucking alligator dinosaurs running around trying to eat us. That's terrifying. And there's some scary moments in there. Yeah. They're crawling.
Yes, because it's dark and you're like, man, they're going to turn a corner. Yeah. They're looking at Maisie, but Maisie was splitting the screen. So I was like, oh, there's going to be something here. And there wasn't. So it was good misdirection in a way. But they are in the monorail, or this is when they get off the monorail because the monorail stops. And this is because fucking Dotson shuts the shit off.
He kills all the power.
Yes, because he knows they're getting away. And this is when he's like, hey, I need you guys to call fucking Ian up here. And Ian gets up there, and this is where he fires Ian.
Yeah, they get into it on how, they have Ian on camera.
Switching giving him the bracelet.
They caught him
that gives him access, yes.
And, Ian gives a good, I like it, he gives a good, fuck you speech kind of thing. You know, he gives him kind of a...
Yeah.
He gives him that whole, that classic, when he used to give to Hammond, you're too busy wondering if you should when you when you should have thinking if you should.
Yeah.
It's that same kind of you were so irresponsible with all this shit. This was bound to happen. Chaos theory. Boom. And then he's basically fuck you, I quit. No, you can't fire me. Fuck you, I quit.
Yes.
And that's it. And
this is when Dotson goes, well, fucking Ramsey, take Ian and get him out.
So then you realize oh, this idiot still has no clue that Ramsey's Ian's guy.
So Ramsey's like, hey, I'm going to get you to Alan. I'm going to get you to your friends.
Yeah, because he tells them, yo, they're already, almost out. You're just going to get in with them, and then I will stay behind and kind of clean up the loose ends or whatever.
And it goes fairly fast. I think between the scene of Ian getting up with Alan and Ellie is the scene where you get to see the Gigantosaurus.
Yes,
where Owen and Kayla,
right.
yeah,
so
it's a little filler scene.
It's all right around.
And then the next scene is where we get to see Ian reunite with Alan and Ellie again in the mines.
Mm-hmm.
So,
because Ramsey saves them.
Yes.
Because like the door's locked and they like can't get out and they don't know what the fuck to do because it's like a keypad and shit. It's like the like vent they can't get out and then fucking
Ramsey puts the code in from
saves them as they're about to get like closed in on by a herd of the Metrodons.
It's a cool scene. It's a cool scene. It's fun. And then this is when Dotson's like, fuck.
Finally, Dotson's like, all right, this is getting too big for me.
Yep. So he orders
can't do this anymore.
He orders these locusts to just be fucking put on
fire. Which is actually an awesome, like the way they do it in the room with like the like torches that come out and spray the gasoline as the fire's going out and just torches all these bugs.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, this is really cool. Like this is a cool like kill the room button.
It is.
Until they all just break out of the ceiling, and now it's like, oh, not only do we have locusts running amok, we have fire flaming bugs running amok, and it's like this is really going to be a plot obstacle now.
Yep.
Is like not only is it just the bugs, but like the ones he set on fire is now the true fucking issue of all this, and this is where I really like got upset for the first time, where I was like, these motherfuckers, like again with the goddamn bugs, like, and now they're flaming bugs. And it's like, okay, they're flaming bugs. Like, it was a cool effect. I thought maybe fly away, like fireflies. But then it's like all of a sudden, like, buildings are taking fire damage. Dinosaurs, like little bug meteors, are falling on things. And it's like setting things on fire. It's like now, it's like, okay, now we've started an ecological disaster with like meteors in a sense. And it's like the goddamn bugs again, man. Like, oh my God, dude. And the fact it was just this guy hitting the kill button that like, you're going to tell me the room you designed doesn't have fireproof glass on the ceiling? They just...
Yeah.
It really made me mad, and it was one of those, like, this is fucking dumb, dude. Like, I mean,
it was one of those things visually, that they needed it to make sense.
Again, visually, it looked cool. It looked cool to see these, like, fire things falling out of the sky and dinosaurs getting hit by them or running from them and them starting fires and shit. Yeah. That was cool. It looked cool to see a swarm of, like, fire dancing across the skies. It's the dumbest shit in the world in a dinosaur movie, though. You know what I mean? It's like, and that's like, so now that became the big thing is like, okay, now everything's burning on our little island we've created. Let's ping the dinosaurs and get them in safe.
Yes.
So they start herding all the dinosaurs like into a safe zone, which again, and now we're back in where we've been for 6 movies of let's just put everybody in a building with the dinosaurs and what can go wrong kind of thing. You know what I mean? So it's like, by now is where I reached the point in the movie where I was like, okay, this movie's nothing what I think it should have been and what would have served them in a better type of building the brand kind of sense. And we now are just getting the 6th Jurassic Park kind of movie. These bugs are just fucking ruining it all.
Alan, while the bugs are on fire and they're in the sky, Alan and his crew get into a Jeep.
And the new Jeeps are fucking sick. They don't have Jurassic Park logos because they're Biosyn logos. But they're like the same tan color if you've noticed. Like they have
they were cool.
The feel. They're fucking cool Jeeps.
And I can't remember if they're getting chased by a dinosaur. They are getting chased by a dinosaur while
I could not
the shit's falling out of the skies.
What dinosaur it was that was chasing them. Because I was like, I don't think it's the Gigantosaurus, but maybe it was.
I don't remember, honestly.
I don't either, and it makes me upset. I literally could not find it online because they're going on that hill, and the dinosaur hits them, and then when they fall down is when they crawl out of the car and they all stand up. Claire and all them are standing.
They're reunited.
That's how they all.
This is where our generational characters.
So maybe it is the Gigantosaurus because then it shows up at the camp. So that would make sense if that was the dinosaur that was chasing them in the car.
Perhaps.
Was it Dilophosaurus, maybe? Or I mean,
you could name a million fucking dinosaurs right now, and I'd be like, oh, okay, yes. The ones from the first.
The spit ones.
The spitters. But this is where our new characters and our old characters
all are
cross paths, as well as Owen and Claire are reunited with Maisie, and they're like, "Oh my gosh, I knew you'd come," and blah.
And it's kind of cool because they're all experts in the dinosaur field, so they all know each other because it's like, "Oh, I read your book," or like, "Oh, you're this guy," and then they all make the joke of like, "Damn, we've all worked at Jurassic World, and like this shit's gone really bad at one point too." And so it's kind of funny, like they all kind of have the similarities between them.
Yes, this is where they do get away from the Gigantosaurus, and it's an intense scene, and you almost
it's cool. Like that's when we finally
fucking think that we're gonna lose somebody.
This was another big issue of my movie is they robbed us of one of the greatest. We could have had one of the greatest movie deaths of all time.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. So
shout out Jordan. Shout him out once a podcast almost. But Jordan was saying to me, like, dude, I want a deep sea blue sea moment in this movie of like, you know, you ever seen Deep Blue Sea?
Yeah.
The Samuel L. Jackson moment.
That was unexpected. This would have been expected,
correct,
but yes, it would have been like, oh my God, they did it. It's
that moment of like, if there's a moment for someone to get eaten by one of the main cast members to get eaten by a dinosaur, this is your shot, guys. Because like, first we get the Gigantosaurus and we actually get to see him and he looks really good. He's terrifying. He's big. He starts fucking everything up. They're doing the classic bullshit where they're hiding behind a car and he's spinning the car kind of thing. They're doing the old T-Rex tricks that they do in every movie. But this thing's bigger, stronger, faster, smarter kind of thing, and just as all the things are not working. And they're all kind of climbing this fucking ladder to get up higher.
It's like a safe house or like a...
It's got like a door. They just know they can like get away from...
They can get indoors. They can get indoors.
Because right now, the big daddy is waiting to kill them outside, and they don't want to deal with it. And it's a real cool scene. They show it in the trailer, but it's cool. Like, Maisie's climbing up, and the ladder's all encaged to begin with.
Yeah.
And the fucking thing comes in and bites it, and its
jaws can't clamp around.
And she's, like, just screaming, and then it rips the fucking cover off, and now the ladder's exposed. They all get up except fucking... Ian. So then Ian, again, the last one that's about to get up, the Gigantosaurus is about to get him, and Ian does what Ian does best and grabs his little makeshift flare, and he, like, makes this fire torch thing and does the classic, like, I'm going to distract the T-Rex thing.
Right here, look here. Yeah.
And it's perfect shout out because it's exactly what we did with the T-Rex. Except he takes it and just, like, lunges it in the fucking T-Rex's
He throws it like a spear.
Yeah.
He throws it like a spear.
It hits and it's cool, but then all of a sudden it like explodes like it's like Godzilla breath and like a fucking fireball like shoots out, which is kind of weird, but we'll take it because it's dinosaurs and shit. I'm cool with it. And this is the moment everyone in the theaters is like, yep, Ian needs to get eaten now. Like this is where the dinosaur needs to bite back and we need to get a character die.
Yeah.
Does not happen.
It doesn't.
This thing gets its thing in the mouth, Ian runs around it, climbs up the ladder, and they all just run in the building and this thing just kind of walks away. And it's like...
It does attack because you almost think that Owen almost gets eaten. This is in the trailer as well, where he's like, where he's like, "Oh, that wasn't so bad," and then it fucking comes crashing through the window.
Back to the window again.
And then that's when Claire fucking decides she's gonna pick up the taser and tase its eyeball, and that's when it runs away.
Yes, correct. Its
eyeball.
Like, what
gets the fuck?
Yes.
Like,
very dumb.
Yeah,
very dumb. Almost as dumb as
exciting, but dumb.
You know what? This, I think it is the Dilophosaurus that are chasing them, the things, because that's what Owen and fucking Kayla catch. That was the most angry moment I had in the movie was when Owen grabbed a Dilophosaurus by the throat.
Oh yes.
And Kayla like didn't kill it and stab it in the head.
That's when they're first reunited with Claire. Yeah.
She like cut its head tiny bit and was like, and then Owen's like, get out of here, and it just like runs away.
Go and get. He says, go and get because I left.
I was like, what the fuck just happened? That's like a killer dinosaur. Like, he just grabbed it by the throat. They, like, kind of cut it in its head. They didn't, like, stab it and kill it, and it just ran away. I was like, that's the dumbest shit I've ever seen in my life. Like, why didn't they should have just killed that fucking thing. Like, that, I just wanted to bring that up. I don't know exactly where that lands in the movie, but that was a moment that I was like,
that's when they're reunited with Claire.
What the fuck is going on here, dude? So that sucked.
Yeah, so that is when they, the Gigantosaurus does go away, and they kind of take it easy for a moment. This is where they have the fun conversations, like you said, where they know each other, and
this is also where like they're like, okay, we can leave now, and Owen's like, fuck, we gotta go get Beta.
Yeah,
and then that's when the whole conversation of like, oh, so you're gonna go save a baby dinosaur, and he's
why?
Like, yeah, you don't get it, but
you made a promise to a dinosaur. Yeah, that's that part.
Yeah, you know, and it is stupid, but the fact that they're allowed to call it out and make fun of it themselves is them recognizing it's stupid. So I give them a pass on it because it's like, okay, cool. And again, you kind of understand it. You're like, yeah, well, he's got to go get Beta. Dude.
See, this is one of the jokes in the movie that hit pretty well for me as well. That was subtle, where Owen's talking to Alan, and Alan goes, "Oh, you're the guy who trains rappers," and he goes, I try, or what did he say?
tried.
I tried.
Yeah,
Like
he said, "I
he's
tried."
being very subtle,
No,
or being
yeah.
not.
Well, that's what's funny is like Alan's almost a bigger fan of Owen than Owen is
Yeah.
Alan because Alan's so obsessed with raptors. Like that's Alan's whole thing. is,
Yeah.
like,
So I did
yeah,
I did
it's
enjoy
awesome.
that part of it all.
No, it was. It's a nice little like kind of reunion scene, and it's coming off of all the action. You know, no one's gonna die or whatever, so they're all just kind of.
If there was
Having
ever
those
an,
moments.
like you had said, if there was
was
ever
the
an
moment.
opportunity to kill any of the characters,
that was when
this
I
was the
realized
moment.
too. I was like, if they didn't kill someone right there, no one's dying in this fucking movie.
No.
And that's what pissed me off too. Because going in, I was like, I
expected him to die.
I
right there.
wanted Alan
Somebody-
and Ian to both die, and I wanted Ellie to be the only one left, and women inherits Earth. It would have been the greatest joke. Because that's the
Would've
whole
been
point of the
interesting.
first one is like man created dinosaur, dinosaur eats man, man kills dinosaur, and then she goes, women inherits Earth. And I thought that was going to happen. She'd be the only one like smart enough to survive out of the old stupid headed guys.
It'd
But
been
again,
it'd been interesting, but
no one fucking dies, so it's quite fucking upsetting. And that's really the last time anyone comes in like real jeopardy.
Yeah.
Jeopardy of
there are no besides that point, there are no real stakes in this movie. There is no
The last scene, I guess, a little bit. The last fight. Because the Gigantosaurus is coming. But then the homie
they're
shows
not
up.
even scared.
Again,
They're not even scared. So that's why I was like, fuck. I'm like, if they're not scared,
That's
what the
true.
fuck am I scared for?
Okay.
So we jump back to Biosyn, and Biosyn's being evacuated.
I hated this scene,
Dawson's
too.
like, y'all gotta get the
He's
fuck out
talking
of
with
here.
Ramsey.
And this is when Ramsey does reveal
This
to
was
him.
a
He's like,
weird fucking scene. It was
was
like Ramsey just saying like, hey man, I know you're a bad guy. And you're confirmed a bad guy. And I'm a good guy. So I'm going to let this just ride out and you get what you get. And I was expecting Ramsey to have a moment of like, ha ha ha, I've been playing both of you. You know, like I'm getting, like it just seemed like he was there to reveal something and he was really there to be like, yeah, you fucked all this up and I'm not on your side or on. And I was just like, it just felt like a very
It was a very
scene.
weird scene, but a part of me liked it just because it was different and you didn't get the bad guy.
Yeah,
ha ha ha. In
That's
your
fair.
face,
That's
so
fair. No,
I didn't mind it.
No, I agree. It's nothing
But
like
it
make
was
or break.
off-putting.
It just seems a little weird because it's like the bad guy being like, "Damn, I was bad. I fucked this up," and Ramsey, who we know is a good guy, being like, "Yeah, dude, you fucked all this up, and I'm a good guy, by the way." So it was like,
I'm not you.
okay.
So Ramsey leaves, and Dotson's like, all right, I gotta get the fuck out of here too.
dude.
So he takes. This is one of those nostalgic cock ramming scenes where he takes the fucking shaving cream bottle.
Oh, yeah. That's a little
Deep throat to me.
deep throat. The him grabbing the bottle specifically is.
Yes.
The scene of his thing stopping in that tunnel, terrifying. With the Dilophosaurus.
That was too much.
no.
That was too nostalgic for me too. I was like, the guy who has a shaving cream bottle dies from the same fucking dinosaur. Like this is jumping a scene a few.
Not really though.
I think you guys
No.
skipped my favorite nostalgic one though.
What?
With Ian, with his shirt.
Oh, his fucking shirt unbuttoned? Yeah, that pissed me off too. That was another
thought
scene.
that
I
was
was
funny.
like, God damn it, we get it. You're a fucking sex symbol in these movies.
I thought it was subtle though because it wasn't anything verbal either. She just kind of looked at him and went like, "Fix your shit," and he was like, "Oh, I'm sorry," and like buttoned the.
No,
top.
I
Like,
enjoyed
thought
those.
that
the
was
only
funny.
reason why I like this is because it was fucking Kayla, and I like Kayla. But
No, yeah,
You're a hipster, though.
I am going to
Okay,
disagree
so-
with you on this. I
so Dotson-
thought this scene was fucking terrifying.
Dotson leave. He takes a shaving cream. He gets on a monorail. Owen and the crew get up to Biosyn. They get up to the computers. They realize, oh fuck, we need to get out of here through a plane. And Kayla's like, I'm gonna go get us a plane. So, but in order for us to get out of here, we need to take care of the flying shit. So we need to
we gotta
reboot the
reboot
system,
the fucking-
which is another fucking nostalgic thing
Sure.
of I get it.
Yeah.
You guys did this in the first movie,
Yeah.
and they also this is where they decide we need to fucking split up. You know why? Because Owen, Alan, and Maisie need to go get Beta, and Ellie and Claire are gonna go fucking reset the system.
Yeah.
And you know who's gonna be giving us instructions of how to reset the system? The same guy who did it in the first movie, fucking Ian.
Yeah.
It was too much of that shit for me, and I was like, I get it. You guys did it before,
No, I get it, but that's just what this movie was going to be.
and it's not what I wanted.
I
So,
understand.
but
I didn't have a problem
this
with it, though.
during this scene, it's all cut back and forth between Ellie and Claire, and they got to go into the bug room. Why it was in the fucking bug room, I don't know why, other than to make it a little bit scary.
It wasn't in the bug room.
Why were all the bugs there?
Because they were, those were all the ones I think that got lit just on fire, and they were kind of laying there injured sort of things.
So it's the only room in Biosyn where the reboot system is that is the only room that also has dead bugs.
It's a fucking movie, man.
It kind of seems.
Yeah, like that.
I took it as it was
that,
the bug room,
and it could be the bug room too. But I don't think you can be mad about like the only room having a server. Like that's every fucking movie that has something that goes wrong has a server movie. Look at fucking Batman vs Superman. Bruce Wayne drunkenly wanders into the server room. Every place has a goddamn server room. So that one's all right.
Anyways, they go into the server room. Ian's giving them fucked up instructions of how to do it. They finally figure it out. That's taken care of. Mm-hmm. While that's happening, I believe is when we cut over to because they reboot the system and take out the power is when the monorail shuts down the Datsuns.
Yes. Mm-hmm. Yeah, because
this is your scary scene now.
And then this is like it's one of those where it's like as soon as the light gets killed, it's like, oh, this is like you have the villain singled out and the lights go out, you're like, this guy's
gonna
dead.
get his.
Yep. Yeah. So it's like, all right, how's this gonna happen? And it's pretty creepy.
It's scary.
If we had more of this for the whole movie, like why aren't we just in these terrifying situations with dinosaurs trying to hunt you? I will give you credit that it is cheesy that like it's the same dinosaur that killed Nerdy. I kind of like it. It's kind of funny, circle of life.
It is.
Type thing.
It's a cool nostalgic
but in
thing.
General,
but I was like, okay,
being stuck on an underground monorail and then carnivores being loose.
Mm-hmm.
Terrifying. And it's like classic Jurassic Park shit, like these things kind of come out of nowhere. He thinks he's safe. He gets back in the monorail because he opens it because he's like, I'm going to go walk.
This was the same Nerdy thing too, where he's like, oh, I'm in the car. I'm safe. No, you're not.
No. I did like the dinosaur that came through the goddamn window.
I didn't expect there to be multiple of them.
Exactly.
That's when I was
that's
like,
what's different about all this
this
too.
was
it's
a
not
little
just like
different.
him versus one. It's like a pack of these.
Yeah, there was like 3 or 4 of them,
and they just maul him, and he just starts getting fucking spit, just hitting him left and right. And then
I like how he spits it out of his mouth.
Yeah,
He's like,
it's like toxic. Yeah,
I was in the theater. I was like, no.
And then he just gets fucking demolished.
He does.
So,
and this is when we jump back to Owen, Alan, and Maisie, and they gotta go get Beta.
They're looking for Beta.
They go to a different room. They do get Beta.
I actually really like this scene. I like
it's cool.
When Maisie, like Beta, because Beta comes out as like a mean little. Again, it's a baby, so it's funny, but at the same time, it's like, oh shit, this thing could like,
it's a raptor.
This thing could kill you. It's a raptor, and it like has this mean look, and it like goes at like kind of Alan. It takes a step, and Maisie does the whole Owen, like gets in front and puts her hand out, and she's like, stop,
eyes on me,
and like Beta just stops and looks straight at her, and it's like, yeah, we get a mini trainer. And then what's awesome is Owen's like, okay, like this is what we're gonna do, and they do the like triangulation. So they use raptor tactics to catch a raptor, because then they all put their hands out and they fan out so it can't focus on anybody, and that they do exactly what raptors do. That's what the whole thing. They always talk about how raptors triangulate their play and they hit you from 3 different sides at one time. So that's what he was doing, and then Beta goes to charge at Grant, and fucking Alan like snipes it with the tranquilizer. So it's just a really cool moment of like Maisie being like, yo, Beta's mine. And I think that's also where they may have revealed the name Beta.
It might have been.
Because at some point they're like, you named it? You named it? And
yeah.
She's like, yeah. And yeah, so but still it's the same, it's that same concept. It's really cool of like like Blue is with Owen, and like Beta clearly like respects like Maisie. Mm-hmm. So it was a cool, and again, I always like the raptor training moments. I don't know why. They're dumb,
cool.
But I think it's kind of cool.
Because it's in a way it's out of this world of like this can happen.
Yeah,
it'd be like if you could train a fucking alligator and it did follow you and just didn't. But there's always that chance that it's gonna fucking eat you.
Correct. Yeah.
So they get Beta, and
it was a cool scene. I think it was a lot cooler than just finding Beta in a cage. You know what I mean? It was cool.
So then the next joke hits pretty well for me is when they all come back together upstairs at the computer room. And fucking Owen's got Beta attached to his back.
Oh,
and
they're
all
jokes. See, and that's a joke I thought was corny as fuck.
Oh, I fucking love this one. I love it.
They showed this in the trailer.
We got to defer. Does he?
Yeah. They showed this joke in the trailer, I think.
This is where so Owen has
they
fucking...
show part of it.
Yeah.
Owen has Beta roped around him like a backpack.
Yeah. And it's got like a little muzzle on.
And Ian's freaking out about something. And then he stops what he's doing. He goes, is that a dinosaur attached to your back?
Is that dinosaur on your shoulder?
Is that a dinosaur on your shoulder? And he goes, yeah. Okay. So then they decided, okay, this is where we got to go. He just continues the plan. And the plan is that we got to get outside.
They got to get to this
They
plane.
rebooted everything. The air defense system is gone.
They just have to make it to the plane.
They got to make it to Kayla.
They have Beta. They have...
The air defense system is back.
Yeah,
Yes.
they have everything. Yeah, the defense system is actually turned back on.
back.
We
Yes,
want it
correct.
on just so the listeners are clear. It's not going to hurt their plane. It keeps them safe for anything in the air.
Yes.
So yeah, they have that on. It's just all about literally getting to this plane, which
Kayla's
Kayla's
can't land
flying
it.
in. She already had the plane and is flying it in, and so she decides, I can't land anywhere. I'm gonna fly this fucker in the main
Atrium of some type.
It's
a big open area.
You know,
it's a big open area.
It's where they directed all the dinosaurs to, though.
Well, that's the problem.
And they didn't know that, but
correct.
Yeah.
But again,
their emergency
the big
containment,
open place is also where all these dinosaurs are like trained,
convened
to go.
They were
converged.
pinged.
Yes.
So again, pinged because they have this neuro thing in them.
Their
so
neurotransmitter.
So they're getting there. They're running, and
They're running
they
through
catch
this
up
thing.
with Henry Wu. Henry Wu
and
was
what's
there,
cool
and he's like,
too is like there's a bunch of dinosaurs everywhere, and they're not just like meat eaters. Like you see brontosauruses, you see triceratops, you see ankylosaurs. They're just all these different types of dinosaurs kind of panicking because again, it's like raining firebugs. So all these dinosaurs are kind of on edge, freaking out, like end of the world type.
Yeah, I liked
shit.
that because it almost gives you a glimpse to like the meteor.
Correct,
shower,
and that's why
yeah.
that was the only thing that I was like, this is why they're doing this to like semi make some kind of visual, like the dinosaurs, end of dinosaurs.
they're reliving. They have PTSD.
Yeah.
But at the same time, what the fuck are we doing? This is a dinosaur movie. But it is whatever. But yeah, they're running through trying to make it to the plane that Kayla has now landed amongst all these fucking dinosaurs. And just like, they run into Wu. And Wu, for the 17th time, is like, hey, by the way, I can fix all this. I just need your blood. Like, I'm not a fucking asshole. Just save me. I'm not a piece of shit. And everyone's like, fuck this guy. But Maisie's like, no.
Yeah.
Let me just help him. We'll do it. And so they bring him along, and it's like,
because I mean, he is the one who showed her the truth.
I don't give a shit.
I
Fuck
know,
Wu.
but I see why she. I see why Maisie.
Yeah, no,
felt,
it's she's a kid.
I want a Justice for Wu shirt.
Yeah, I don't have a Death to Wu shirt. We'll sell them. See who sells more.
Death to Ming.
But yeah, and then as any classic good Jurassic Park movie is, before they can just go to safety, the big bad dino's got to be the one to stand in between them and getting off this.
Their safe haven.
Yes.
And the Gigantosaurus shows up, and it's kind of like, oh shit, what are we gonna do? Because it's kind of just them, the airplane, and the fucking dinosaur. You know, it's like can't really do anything.
Yeah, you're sitting there like, how the fuck are they gonna get out of this one?
You know what I mean? It's like fuck. And again, it's cheesy and it happens in all the movies, but it's something that I look forward to in every Jurassic Park movie because it's just like Godzilla. Godzilla will always get back up. Jurassic Park, Mama T-Rex, the OG T-Rex, the tooth missing T-Rex that we talked about in the beginning.
Yep.
Always shows up back. So it gets humiliated in the fucking forest and gets his ass whooped, and then out of nowhere, this thing kind of just shows up and is like, round 2 for the Apex battle? Let's go. Again, it's always like the T-Rex ends up being the human of the savior of the humans, which is always fun. It's like it doesn't give a fuck about humans, it eats them, but when another
cool.
Apex shows up, I'm showing up, and this T-Rex shows up and is like...
It's cool because they start circling our heroes. Their heroes are right in the middle, and you're like, fuck, I thought that they wanted to fight to claim their meal, basically.
Meal? Yeah.
And Alan looks at everybody. Alan looks at me. He's like,
"It's the let them fight moment.
This isn't about us. This is an alpha moment.
Correct.
Alpha fucking Apex,
which is all we want to see, and that's all that's happened between all the big dinosaurs in all of the movies. Because again, it's all animal instincts. Basically, that's what you put two big predators in one place in like normal, like a lot. You're gonna find out who the Apex is very quick in the animal kingdom, and that's exactly what happens. Is they fucking go at it. They have they're always, it's hard to rate these fights because it's like, how cool can two big giant thing fights be? Because it's a lot of slow movements and tails and just biting and stuff. But when you see two titans like just biting each other, I fucking love it. So like I was all about the Gigantosaurus, Tyrannosaurus fight. They were biting the shit out of each other, and then the Tyrannosaurus gets like fucking worked. And you think it's dead. And it's not actually unbelievable at all, too. I was very mad. I was like, fuck, man. Like, damn, that's my T-Rex, you know, and I don't want this Gigantosaurus to win. And it's like, but at the same time you buy it because you're like, that thing is a lot bigger.
Yeah, absolutely.
Than him. Like, it's a big beast.
This is where you put your money on fucking Goliath, not Davey.
Correct. And so, but now this thing goes out and you're like, fuck, dude, like.
Yes.
And now what? Because the T-Rex always wins.
And you know what? I gotta eat my words because this is another moment that I thought we were going to lose a character.
Okay.
Because this is where Ellie jumps out and kind of... Does she jump out and kind of distract? Because the wall that the Tyrannosaurus is up against where you think the Tyrannosaurus is dead isn't like Maisie and Wu underneath it.
Maybe.
And I think Ellie gets out of the helicopter and kind of distracts it for a moment. I thought Ellie was going to die. I can't remember the scene, but I think Ellie does get out of it.
I can't remember exactly.
And then that's when the fucking other creature thing.
The Therizinosaurus.
The Edward Scissorhands.
Which is the like bird
the
blind
blade finger
thing that was trying to eat Claire.
So it kind of comes and saves Ellie in a way.
It comes out,
distracts again.
It comes out and it's like now again, because again, they play it like this bird's like blind. So it's like this thing is like found its way to like the battlefield. And it kind of just gives its little like weird call and like clicks its like claws and you know like, oh, I want to fight this. I want in on this too. And the Gigantosaurus right away turns towards it because it's like...
It gives it enough time for our heroes to get away.
Correct. They all kind of run and because it's like kind of facing off with that thing now.
Yes.
And then again, so dumb, but out of nowhere, the T-Rex comes back.
Yeah, and the T-Rex kind of looks at the other guy.
Badass, dude.
The T-Rex looks at the other one, too, like...
You get the eye. Oh,
you get the eye.
That is, again, Maddie's probably going to hate it, but... Yep. Dude, that eye popped open and fucking dilated, and that's always the thing when those eyes dilate in the Jurassic Park movies, that thing dilated, and again, it was like... It's dumb that it woke up. It should have just died, probably. Yeah. That's what's really dumb. It's not so much the eye thing. It shouldn't have woke up and become the hero. But if we're going to bring the hero back up from the dead, let's do it.
And the kids loved it.
Oh, I'm sure. Oh, they were like... Yeah, because, I mean, again,
I forgot to mention, I saw this with a 6-year-old and a 7-year-old.
Okay.
Close to 8?
7.
Okay, so a 6-year-old and a 7-year-old. Yeah. They made it through the whole fucking movie, no pissing or anything. They watched the whole thing. No, so they were entertained.
Yeah, his eye opens and dilates, and it's like, oh, T-Rex ain't dead. Mm-hmm. And then it just gets up and kind of like bitch slaps the Gigantosaurus.
Well, it looks at the other one too. Like,
they have this like 3-way Mexican standoff. Like, okay, now there's 3 of us. Mm-hmm. Like, what's gonna happen? And yeah, like the T-Rex and the other thing are kind of like in between, or the Gigantosaurus is in between them.
Yeah.
And the T-Rex just like fucking shoulder charges the Gigantosaurus. It falls over into the goddamn
claws,
bird monster's claws, and just fucking skewers it.
And he's dead.
And dead. Done. And it's like, okay. But again, in the last movie, fucking Raptor got eaten by a Monstosaurus at the end. Yep. And it's like,
and you're just like,
just like, okay, this is the animal kingdom. Like,
I forgot to mention that when the T-Rex does come out, this is one of those nostalgic things that I was like, okay, is when, so there's, in this atrium area, there's this fucking circle fountain. And the T-Rex walks in,
dude. I didn't say anything.
It mimics the fucking the logo where the T-Rex is in the middle, and it's perfect.
Badass.
And it was like,
it was so perfect. I was like,
okay, I see what you did there.
Okay.
I liked that.
Yep, it was cheesy, but it was like, okay, I get it.
Yep. And then the T-Rex just kind of like does its roar thing as like I'm Apex again.
Like,
and the other bird monster just like walks away. There's no like second Apex fight. It's just very clear that like the T-Rex is king again. And
the other one was like, you know what, I got cataracts. I'm not.
Yeah, the other one wanted no part of it, and it was just like, okay.
The T-Rex was like, or that other creature was like, I don't even know what the fuck just happened. I'm blind as fuck right now.
Why are my hands so heavy?
Yeah.
But yeah, and then they just fly away.
Yeah, so they fly away, and it's morning now, and the sun's out, and everyone's safe. And this is one of the things that I have that's wrong with this fucking movie. Another thing that...
The kiss.
Yep.
I didn't really like the kiss too. I will say people cheered and cried and clapped in my theater out loud, like,
oh wow,
cheering like, woo, yeah. So this is one of those things. Again,
I always wanted Ellie and Ian together. That's why
Ian's a scumbag. No, it's always been Alan and Alan.
But Ian's got charisma.
That's what I said. I'm like,
Alan's a fucking pussy.
Like, no, but Alan and Ellie was always expected. So I understood.
This is why they did it. It's because it's like, for 30 years, people have been writing fucking dinosaur fan
fiction.
fiction of these two because these are the ones that are always supposed to get together. So it was like, you knew it was going to fucking happen. I didn't like it. I didn't like the whole, like, I'm never leaving you, Ellie. Like, again, it was all very forced, but it was something like I knew these two. Once you put those two back in a movie, it was going to happen.
Yeah. The kiss didn't need to happen. They could have he'd just been like, even if he just gave that line of, I'm never going to leave you again. And no kiss, I'd have been like, okay, they're going to work on their relationship. But I can see what they're doing.
Movies force kisses for some reason.
I can see what they're doing.
It's just what, I don't know. But yeah, I wasn't thrilled with it either. But again, like, I'm not against their love story kind of thing because that shit's always going to happen.
So Alan and Ellie, they go to Washington. They're going to testify against Biosyn.
Yeah.
And I have a problem with this because at this point I'm like, why are they holding trial against Biosyn? Why is she still worried? And I had this conversation with Sam, like, why is she still worried about the samples of these fucking locusts? Like, don't they have enough on Biosyn at this point that they don't even need that shit?
Not for that. It's for Professor Wu, so that way he can cure the locust problem. He has the samples, so that way he can.
No, because why are they at Washington? They're there at Washington to testify against Biosyn.
Yeah, so that nobody can rebuild Biosyn.
Yeah, but at this point,
some asshole.
The fucker is
like,
dead.
Hey.
Dotson is dead, and everything that happened at. And they even have.
You're telling me not one person at the entire corporation though might not be like.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure they've gone to court multiple times too. In this
I don't think it.
Thing.
At this point in the movie, I'm like, do they even need that fucking sample to prove that Biosyn is fucking bad? I'm pretty sure Biosyn is shut down. Just like
I assume the sample was more so for Wu.
And it's that the whole thing is like also to, again, this is my problem with the whole movie in general. The whole like closing of that and going to Congress and all that was also explaining like they give that big like dinosaurs will now live amongst us type thing. They reiterate the world type bullshit.
Yes.
And like, again, this is exactly how you ended the last movie when you told us now dinosaurs will live amongst us in a Jurassic World.
So after they go to Washington, it's insinuated that they're gonna have a relationship and Biosyn's gonna go down. They show Wu, and Wu is in a field, and he releases a new grasshopper that has
Locust.
the fucking
Locust.
It fucking looks.
You're
like
gonna defend Wu. You're gonna get the damn bug right.
What's the fucking difference between a fucking grasshopper and a locust? If you can tell me what the difference between a grasshopper and a locust is right now.
Look it up.
A fucking grasshopper doesn't fly.
That'd be hilarious if that's what it is.
Grasshoppers do not fly.
They don't. They hop.
They have wings. Hopper.
No,
What's
they're
Hopper?
not.
What's Hopper in fucking Bug's Life, motherfucker?
I'm looking up.
Hopper flies in fucking A Bug's Life, and he's a grasshopper.
Bug's Life's an animated movie.
Yeah, and this is a fucking movie about
Hopper
dinosaurs
talks.
and yeah, Hopper also talks. But this is a movie about dinosaurs. This is a movie about dinosaurs in the real world, so it's all fucking fake. Whatever. Sam's gonna get you that answer. So Wu releases a fucking locust, and we're assuming that the locust is gonna
that's like
populate and it's gonna fix it all.
Whatever, yeah, because it like flies off with all the other ones.
And then we go back to Owen, Claire, and Maisie, and they reunite Beta with Blue.
This is
one of the dumbest fucking.
I disagree.
Oh fuck! I don't like it. So Beta goes back to Blue, and they run off. And before Owen can get back into his vehicle and drive away, Blue comes back, and fucking
it's dumb. It's very dumb. But I told Jordan this too. I was like, this is the moment I felt like I was like, this is so dumb. I shouldn't care about this. Why do I feel like my heart warm? You know what I mean? Where it's like, I know this is dumb.
I can see it.
And Jordan told me instantly, he's like, dude, because it's just like, at this point, Blue is a dog. And it's like that idea of like, it's just like, what's that monkey movie with the like...
Planet of the Apes?
No, where he
Monkey
like,
Trouble?
he saves the monkey and he lets him go at the end. And he's like about to go join his monkey family in the jungle, but he looks back at his owner and like runs and gives him a hug and then he runs
Isn't
back.
that Caesar and Rise of the Planet of the Apes?
I don't know. I've never even seen those movies, so I can't attest to that. I think it's...
Damn, bro, those are good movies.
I think it's Dunstan Checks In, actually.
No, it's not Dunstan Checks In.
Yes, it is.
I just watched Dunstan Checks In like
watch
4
that,
months ago.
I think it is, though. I think they let him go at the end.
No, he lives in the fucking in the hotel with them.
One monkey movie does it. It's not. I guarantee you, it's not Planet of the Apes because I've never seen Planet of the Apes. So,
By the way, update.
Okay, locust and grasshopper. What's the difference?
Grasshoppers, that they fly to an extent. They hop.
That's all I need to know.
No, a locust has long distance flights. Like they actually can take off and fly.
So what kind of grasshopper?
Yeah, but not long distance. That's just for like.
None of these in this movie were flying long distance. They were fucking gump.
What are you talking about?
When they were on fire and going through, they were fucking gliding. They were Buzz Lightyear. They were falling with style.
Dude, they went up into the sky and like flew off and away.
Yeah, through a fucking air vent system that launched them into the air.
Yeah, fucking Buzz didn't go up, motherfucker. He only
Yes,
came
he
down.
did when he fucking jumped on the fucking Luxor ball and then jumped into the air and then jumped on the fan.
Well, none of the Locusts jumped on the Luxor ball.
Listen,
right?
they're the same fucking thing. These were grasshoppers, I'm telling y'all. But, so like I said, I think I understand that the reason why they had Blue come back and kind of give like it wasn't a nod, because if it would have been a nod, I would have fucking hated it even more. But Blue just looks at Owen in a thank you type thing. And Blue is established as a lazy mom because she didn't do shit to get her baby back the entire movie and just left it all on Owen. But
would you want her to drive?
Yeah, dude,
you want her to drive the fucking truck?
That is a fucking insane take, dude.
You just watched a movie about fucking dinosaurs that...
So again, we're going back now to like to fix that issue. You wanted him to put a leash on Blue and be like, "Hey, jump in the car with me."
I already told you.
Turns driving to get.
I already told you at that
take.
moment that I wanted.
What's crazy
Blue
is
to
like
go
I wanted to really destroy this movie, but your insane takes are making me have to defend it. It's insane. It's insane.
And the problem is that I'm probably gonna like when we reveal our rankings. I probably like this movie more than you.
I know, and that's what's even more insane about all this.
I just have problems with
there's conundrum of everything.
Listen, I didn't need a kiss. I didn't need Blue to come back. And that's my reason.
For being such a like Disney happy, I cry when I hug characters guy. You fucking hate just sappy.
No, he hates
cliche
love.
ending.
No,
love
it's
endings,
certain.
dude.
No, it's certain movies. I like a
fucking Batman and Catwoman. You hated the kiss.
Oh,
It's
fucking
just,
hated it.
That's what I'm saying.
I don't like Kylo Ren and
no.
Rey. I hate that fucking kiss too.
That kiss was terrible
Dude,
too.
Maddie
I'll back that
hates
one up.
love.
I'll back.
I hate kissing in movies. I hate unnecessary kissing in movies. Anyways, let's jump back because this is one more scene in this
God,
movie.
that monkey movie's gonna drive me crazy,
It's
dude.
fucking Rise of the Planet of the Apes, man.
I've never seen that movie.
You had to have
Maddie.
seen the scene.
We're gonna get a text
It
at
is this
4:30 in the morning.
dumbass comedy type guy who's like, "Oh, my buddy's back." That's not fucking.
Is it fucking
Planet of the
Curious
Apes.
George?
No.
I'm telling you, there's no way it's Dunstan checks in because we just watched Dunstan
But I'm
checks
telling
in.
you,
I will try to do a ridiculous Google and see what I
I'm
get.
telling you, it's like the dude's trainer from the beginning of the movie. I'm telling you, it's a fucking monkey movie, and it's a comedy. It's not like an action movie.
Okay, so the last scene of this movie kind of seems like it jumps back into like.
I just want it on the record. I want it on the record. My last note of this was I loved the Blue Owen moment. So. Literally, that's my last moment.
Oh my gosh!
I love the little moment at the end.
I didn't need it, but the final scene of this movie, they kind of jump back, and it seems like the beginning of the movie where it's told in like a documentary style, and you see all of these dinosaurs living amongst us again. Like you see the dinosaurs with you see the dinosaurs. What are they doing? There's like big ass dinosaurs.
Walking one of my favorite
elephants,
shots in the movie is like the Paralophosaurus is running with the horses, like that kind of shit. It's just to see
you see pterodactyls with birds. You
dinosaurs
see
are
elephants.
now fully immersed with animals again, which is what they left us in the last.
And
movie.
it's actually Charlotte who's doing the voiceover in this scene.
Yeah, it's like, but it's she looks like Maisie.
Yes,
but it's like in the 80s, a recording of her when she was a younger kid,
and she's basically just saying that. Dinosaurs, or we all need, because it takes place in the 80s and this hasn't happened yet, she's basically saying that in general, and this is probably a message to the world as well, is we all need to coexist. We all need to be happy with each other. We all need to we all need to not be so fucking angry with each other. And that's it. That's the movie.
It is the movie.
Like I said in my spoiler-free review, I enjoyed this movie. I was entertained. I could see where the issues were. I didn't like the jumping around in the beginning of the movie. I felt like it was necessary for them to tell the Alan and Ellie stories, so that way we know these characters aren't just jumping in for no reason. But it kind of annoyed me that we were spending so much time with them and then jumping back to Claire and Owen and jumping into their story. Like it was too much for me. It was a pacing issue.
Yeah.
So that was my biggest issue with it was just some of the pacing at the beginning. But I did like the third act. And while I was upset that they didn't kill off characters that I wanted to see die off, I did enjoy it. I didn't like that the movie went from, hey, dinosaurs are in the world and they're an issue, to, oh, wait, no, the bugs are the issue. And then the end of the movie is like, dinosaurs are still in our world, but now it's not an issue. It seemed inconsistent.
Yeah, like I said, I think it's the story of it all. It just doesn't really. It's weird. It's again they had a chance to take this and make it something new,
Jurassic
and unique,
World,
and finally get that out of the park, which has always been their thing. Is like, damn, we keep putting ourselves in a box, and they literally had the opportunity and then just put them back in a box. Yep. And then they were like, oh, well, now we're all out again and free. It's like, dude, you open the movie with a Mosasaurus eating a boat. Like, we know that these things are out in the real world. Like,
and that's why I said in the beginning.
Fucking annoying.
That's another reason why I said in my spoiler-free review is that it didn't seem like a conclusion. This was you had said, it left us the same exact moment of the second movie. This movie could have been
like Fallen Kingdom in a way, and it would have been like, okay, like I'm ready to see what it's going to be like when Owen's in the forest with raptors.
Yeah.
And they had the opportunity to do that, and they had moments where people were locked with dinosaurs in places, and it was terrifying, and they just squandered it, man. Yep. It really kind of made me mad. As a very like hardcore Jurassic Park fan, it's just like, damn, dude, you guys fucking kind of missed the ball, and I just don't like. It's not that like I've lost hope in Jurassic Park. Like I still enjoy them and what they are, but it's like I don't think they really have like a chokehold on dinosaurs anymore. It's like I'm ready to see other people do dinosaur content now. Because like,
so would you want, if they were to go forward, would you want a reboot or would you want another sequel?
I mean, I'd give them another pass if they're going to actually try to do Jurassic World again. But it's like if they don't take this out of a box and it's not full on whatever, I don't know.
So maybe one more 50, we'll get a.
Yeah, who knows?
we'll get a good.
But I'll say I'll be the first person that any Jurassic Park project I would try to get attached to in a heartbeat. It could be Jurassic Park 37, and I would be trying my hardest to get on that thing. So because I want to be part of it so bad, no matter how bad it gets. But I was as a fan, I was a little let down by this. I was pretty pissed.
I would hope for a reboot,
and I've been trying to get good on it, but it's just like it's been eating me the past couple days. I'm like, I just really didn't. I don't think I really like this movie.
Okay.
I love the dinosaurs though. Dinosaurs
they were fun. They were cool.
Great.
They brought in a lot of dinosaurs that we'd never seen before.
Really fucked me up, man.
So the legacy jokes we talked about a lot that I liked, like the Ian unbuttoning his shirt and Ellie taking off her sunglasses. Another one that bothered me was when Alan had to go back to save his fucking hat. I was like,
that was like Indiana Jones.
Yeah, it was too much Indiana Jones.
That was like
fuck this.
Him like throwing a joke to George Lucas or some shit.
And then I also didn't like the where somebody mentions the voltage of the fence. And he's like, do you know how fucking... do you know the fucking voltage of the fence? And Alan was like,
he's like,
I do.
I actually laughed at that.
It was another one I was like, I fucking get it, man.
See, the thing that's kind of funny, though, is like a lot of these jokes, like, they're making jokes about something that happened 30 years ago. Mm-hmm. So that's also what's kind of funny, too, is like, to them, this is something like, when they're asking these questions, they have no idea about these jokes, and only the old people are making these jokes, because it's like, none of you guys realize what we went through that first time.
Yeah.
But yeah, I totally forgot about that.
MVP characters. Did you have a favorite character?
From the old characters, Malcolm was awesome. I think Ian...
Like, all around... Like, I do have multiple characters that were my favorite.
Well, like, out of like, the older ones that returned, I think they all played themselves pretty well. Like, the old character, it felt like Grant, it felt like Ellie, it felt like Ian. I think Ian kind of stole the show, like he usually does. I think he had... Just when he gets on his roles and he gets on his rants and his timing and delivery, I did like Dr. Malcolm quite a bit. I like Kayla. Kayla's a cool character, but she doesn't do anything like crazy for me. But she was a character that I was like, she's a fucking solid, cool character. Yes,
Kayla and Ramsey are who I
Ramsey I liked a lot too.
I like these characters a lot. And then my other favorite character was Dr. Wu. Because I thought he was the only one.
He's definitely not on my list.
I thought he was the only one who had a redemption in this movie. Nobody else had it. Maisie, nobody.
Could say Grant did. Grant finally got the balls to say hi to the girl, which you hated. But that's his whole thing, is he's always been afraid of kids, been afraid of commitment, been afraid of the girls, been afraid of his work. Now he's taking the jump.
Sure. I want tonight. He had a redemption. Woo was still my favorite.
Nah,
Not my favorite of the entire movie, but Kayla. But yeah.
Fair.
So I would say expectations and things that we would want changed. But I think we know you don't want bugs.
Yeah, I mean,
you don't want bugs. You
we
want
kind
more.
of covered that throughout
Yes.
this.
Would you have liked any other cameos?
No, there's a good enough. Like, I mean, I feel like there's a good enough characters where it's like, you want to talk about nostalgia and getting cock thrown down your throat. Like, start throwing in more characters. It's just going to be more and more of that. Like, who is missing that really like?
I'll give you a list. I like 5 of them that I would have liked to not have seen all of them, but I'm like, show me the kids from the first movie.
Yeah.
Give me Vinny V. Give me Vince Vaughn back.
Kids showed up in.
Give me Vince Vaughn back.
Second one. No, they're not going to put him in it.
Give me William H. Macy from the third movie. Give me Julianne Moore.
Fuck Julianne.
Give me Jake Johnson. Jake Johnson was hilarious in Jurassic World. Bring him back.
Yeah, no,
Maybe
that's one that I
maybe
would
he's working for
believe.
Biosyn.
But
He could have been Ramsey's character.
yeah, that one I'll give you. I'll give you that one. But Macy, yeah, no, he was a fucking dad of a parent that got caught on an island, bro. So that is what it is.
Billy from the third movie. So the guy who's
the guy that steals the eggs.
Yes.
Yeah.
Maybe he works somewhere.
He's not fucking allowed anywhere near dinosaurs after he's gotten everyone almost killed.
Well, you would think fucking Ian wouldn't be. None of them. They'd be like, fuck all those legacy characters.
Ian's the only one that'll fucking spill the beans about dinosaurs and take paychecks for all this shit.
I think it'd be cool to give me one of those characters back.
I wasn't missing any of them. It's
because they did show Jake Johnson's character when they flipped through when they showed Barry on the iPad. They did show Jake Johnson's character, but I was like, oh man, never got him outside of that. But I think it'd be cool to give me one little cameo. Fucking money thing. They get unlimited money.
No, they don't. That's not how it works.
Okay, so if I had to letter grade this movie, I'm giving it a C.
Yeah,
that's what I'm going for. I did ask you ahead of time if you wanted to rank the franchise.
Yeah, I can do that.
You got the ranking?
Yeah.
We're going to go 6 to 1. My number 6, Jurassic World. First Jurassic World.
Okay.
That's mine. My number 5, Jurassic Park 3. My number 4, Jurassic Park Dominion. My number 3, Lost World Jurassic Park. My number 2 is Fallen Kingdom. My number 1 is Jurassic Park.
So what's the worst one out of all of them? Fallen Kingdom.
Is your worst?
Yeah. Easily.
Wow. Okay.
I'd say it goes Fallen Kingdom, then 3. No, then this one. Fallen Kingdom, this one. 3. Jurassic World, Jurassic Park 2, and then Jurassic Park 1.
Wow. Okay. Very different.
Like one's such a far away. Like I still want to. I would still want to do like an episode on Jurassic Park one day.
Yeah, I think
that's one of those
we'll
it's so far ahead of all the other ones that like yeah. So it's not even a close,
for sure.
A close battle, but yeah. I mean, it's one of those things like the series definitely hasn't gotten better with more sequels and time and stuff. It just it hasn't happened, but hopefully they figure it out because they seem like they're not going to give away the IP. There's always like there's cartoon shows now, Camp Cretaceous and all that. Like kids are always love dinosaurs and they're always going to fucking hammer this IP out. So just hopefully there's going to be some stinkers and hopefully sometime one awesome Jurassic Park pops up every now and then.
Do you have a top 3, Sam?
Top 3, I'd probably say the original is number 1 as well. I would share that. My second favorite, I'd probably say Fallen Kingdom.
Mm-hmm.
I like a lot of the lighting and the effects in that movie, like when they're going through the house and it's thunderstorming and like that whole chase scene and then them hiding in like those almost museum-like thing. I like
the displays.
Yes, I really enjoy that visually. Number 3, I'd go Jurassic Park 2.
Okay.
The Lost World.
So we have the same top 3.
Oh, we do? Oh.
That's cute.
We equally like terrible movies, if you want to say, or we equally like really good movies. But I like it.
It's funny.
That was Jurassic Park Dominion, everybody.
Yeah, it wasn't terrible. It wasn't by any means a movie that's like, go see
It had to be
movie.
terrible. Didn't you say it was the fucking... Didn't you say that was your worst?
No.
Oh, it was your fifth?
Yeah, Fallen Kingdom.
Yeah.
Was
Okay.
my worst.
Man. Yes, that's Jurassic Park Dominion. We're going to head off to our next section, Replay Watch.
Eat, pray, love.
We're going to talk about what we're reading, what we're watching, what we're playing. Reading, I'm not sure if you've read anything, but I've read something called Stray Dogs. Stray Dogs is something... It's about a dog who gets brought into a new house, and it's kind of like has a style of like a Disney type art, where it's like a Oliver and Company or like an All Dogs Go to Heaven, and this dog gets brought into a new house, and it's scared, and the owner is a guy, and he introduces this new dog to all the other dogs, and it's a nervous dog. All the other dogs could sense it. And the human gives the dog like a red scarf. It says, here, curl up in this thing. And when the dog gets a scent of that red scarf, it has a flashback because dogs don't have long-term memory. And the short-term memory kicks in, and the dog realizes that red scarf belonged to its previous owner, who was murdered by this person who brought this dog to the house. So it's a murder mystery, but told through the eyes of dogs. And it's fucking gory, and it's bloody, and it's fantastic.
This is why Maddie's Mad Blue wasn't on the fucking Savor trip, because he's reading murder mysteries solved by dogs on the side, dude.
Dude, it's sick, man.
No, it's fair. That's totally fair. I will give you that. That's hilarious.
It's a good story. I enjoyed it a lot.
Here.
Check out Stray Dogs, guys.
I have some news first off, like some things that got announced in the gaming world. The new Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles game, Shredder's Revenge, is coming out. People have been waiting for this game for fucking years.
What system?
It's every system.
Okay.
Every system, including the Switch. It's built like the old arcade game.
Ooh.
They couldn't get the
Turtles in
rights.
Time?
They couldn't get the rights to like the thing you play at like Chuck E. Cheese.
Yeah.
Couldn't get the rights to it. And so a company said, all right, fuck it. Just remake the game. Call it something else. And so they did. And they've been keeping it real under wraps of when it's getting released. And then yesterday they came out and was like, oh, by the way, you can get it June 16th. So next week.
Damn.
Fuck.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Whoa.
They like been releasing things and like it's been real quiet and everyone was like, is the game not happening? And then in the last week they've released, you get all 4 turtles as characters. They put April in as a playable character. Shredder or Splinter and Casey as like playable characters other than just the turtles, which in the original game you can only play the turtles. And I don't think it's the same levels or anything, but it's the same type of fighting, same kind of
8-bit type shit.
idea, exactly. And so people are super, super excited, and the fact it comes out in like a week is really cool. So it's a lot of people are very, very hyped. And like I said, it's Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Shredder's Revenge on literally every system, Switch, PC, PlayStation, Xbox, everything. So it'll be cool. And supposedly it's supposed to have at least up to 4-player co-op, if not 6, because of the extra characters they've added. So
that's pretty cool, especially for that type of 8-bit type shit.
Correct. Yeah, it's cool. It's going to be a nice walk down memory lane, but also like a new age added of like with our technology.
Yeah, hopefully they added a bunch of levels and shit too. That'd be cool.
Really cool. Yeah, I'm sure it's not going to be a reskin of the old game. I'm sure everything will be totally redesigned, but it'll feel like that old game. So I'm very excited. Cool. Yeah, it'll be something to look out for. And if you haven't heard about it, you can kind of look into it online and everything. All the trailers are starting to come out for it.
Dope.
Some other news real quick. The Diablo Immortals phone game came out. Diablo Immortals is a game that, again, has been talked about for a couple of years now. Blizzard, who does Diablo, Overwatch, World of Warcraft, all that kind of shit, they made a phone game. And it's Diablo for your phone. And it's actually incredibly well. It plays really, really well. Diablo's kind of a complex game and shit like that, but for a phone game, it's pretty amazing. So I will say that. It's pretty cool. It came out. The last 2 things I have to say for the play. Again, I don't have really anything to suggest of what I've been playing because I've been playing kind of everything or anything I've already suggested to you guys. So I'm kind of just giving you updates on news. Total War Warhammer 3 is getting their Immortal Empires campaign unlocked, which is basically the campaign version where you can use any army from any of the other 2 games as well. So they always release a game, it comes out with X amount of armies, and then they have this thing called Immortal Empires update that comes out, and now you can use any army in the last game. If you own that game, you can use them in this game now. So now this is the third iteration. We're talking close to probably 100 different armies that you can choose from to like play as that are 100 different races and all.
Is
this
there an end to that game?
Yeah, it's Warhammer, so it's like it's a tabletop game.
Okay, gotcha.
Like originally, but they have all these different kind of things. So basically, like you're just trying to like be the last one standing.
Conquer everything.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's kind of like it's Total War Warhammer, that computer game. It's like a Risk version of Warhammer.
Nice.
Warhammer basically is such a big IP and such a famous IP. They just go, oh, that's a cool game. We'll make a Warhammer version of it. You know what I mean?
Okay.
They're so big they can just plug and play their IP anywhere. So it's a big thing that if you know, and it doesn't come out right when the game launches, but everyone buys the game for this option. So it's the big update that's coming soon. In July, it opens up, and everyone is kind of excited. If you know, kind of thing.
Yeah.
The last video game news I have for you is Overwatch 2 has finally been announced on when it's being released, October 4th. Another game that's been waiting for a long fucking time. It also has came out that the multiplayer option, which is what most people play it for, will be free to play. So anyone can play. You don't have to buy it unless you want to, I think, like transfer your skins and play like the campaign mode, which will be new to Overwatch 2. Overwatch 1 didn't have a campaign mode, so it's we just got an official release date. It's one of those that they've been saying 2020, 2020, 2020, 2020, and now we finally have, okay, it's October 4th, so a little ways out, but something to look forward to. It's a game that's got some big fucking hype. So
having a date set in stone makes it that much.
Yes.
You can mark your calendars.
Yeah, well, sometimes. Video games getting pushed nowadays is ridiculous. They just get delayed left and right. So
yeah,
but whatever. That's all I have for play. But I believe you actually have a play this week.
Yeah. So I recently, or I used to play this game probably like 3 years ago. It's Disney Emoji Blitz.
Yep,
it's on my phone. And I remember playing and I got super high on my levels. And then I just got tired of it and I deleted it. And I thought that it was going to remember all my shit because I re-downloaded it. For people who don't know, like this Disney Emoji Blitz is kind of like I think a play off of like a Candy Crush thing. It's the easiest thing that most people know is like
it's Candy Crush.
Yes, if you know Candy Crush, then it's Disney emojis. That's all it is. You just got to match up 3 or 4 or 5.
The only difference is like, each emoji is from a Disney movie, and they have like a super ability that they can kind of
different
use.
powers.
And so it's a power, and then the kicker of the emoji game is any emoji you unlock in the game you can use on your phone.
Yes.
And that's like the kicker is like, if you unlock a Soli, because you kind of randomly unlock shit, you can like spin for random characters or do events where you unlock specific characters and shit like that. To get you to pay to win, put money in to buy more fucking lives and shit. But basically, if you unlock an emoji, you now can like open the app in your text part of your phone and use those emojis.
So instead of
was cool for like a week.
Yeah.
And then the shit got old really quick. I was like, all right, I'm just going to use regular emojis.
If you wanted to send a heart eye emoji.
But it was Mike Wazowski.
It could be fucking Mickey Mouse with a heart eye emoji.
Correct. It's fun for a little bit and then it...
Yeah,
but the game is fun itself. The game's
not
fun.
Jurassic Park Builder though.
Yeah, you still could play that, and that game remembers your shit when you log back in. I'll tell you that because I re-download that quite a few times. It's like I'll play it for a week and be like, all right, I'm done.
I do too because I get sucked into it almost like Sims back in the day, and I'm like, I gotta stop.
Yep.
But I just got to level 23 today, so after like 2 weeks, I think, of playing it. So I'm on level 23, and I have a new strategy now, though. I don't buy, or I don't, because you get like coins and gems in the game to purchase like a new emoji. And instead of purchasing more emojis, I literally just let my coins rack up. And because it'll tell you, hey, you have to, one of the challenges it'll give you is to get a certain amount of points using a certain character. Well, because I don't purchase more characters and I just keep it to the bare minimum, all my characters that I'm able to use have super fucking high point systems. So now I don't have to use the shitty characters that I want to keep unlocking. So fair. I'm going at it at a new perspective. Yeah, that's my play, I guess. we'll see where I'm at on my level next time. So we'll head off to watch. And my watch is actually pretty long. I took some of the movies out because a lot of them were rewatches. So I only have new things that I've watched.
Go for it.
That's still quite a bit.
Just hit on them. You don't have to
So
explain
one of the things that I've watched and I fell in love with that the girls and I watched, and we watched it fucking 3 days in a row.
I know it is. Yeah.
And then we've still continued to listen to the soundtrack and everything. Yeah. So we watched The Greatest Showman.
You're late to the game on that
dude,
one. Like, that's what's funny to me.
Her too, man.
That's what's just funny to me. It's like when you hit me up and we were like, yo, you seen The Greatest Showman? I was like, especially with the girls and shit, I was like, I expected this to be a movie that you guys saw like way out. So I was just like, the fact you just saw this, dude, and like, this movie, now you're addicted. So, yeah, I was
this
like,
movie came out in 2017. This movie
it's
came
been out forever.
Amelia wasn't even born yet.
Yeah. So I turned this movie on because we had watched one of the other things that is new that I watched is we watched the High School Musical series. And I like the first one. I love the second one, and I love the third one. And I was like, fuck it. Let's see what other musicals the girls,
that we had in our voodoo.
That we had in our movie list, and let's see what we can watch. And I had heard from our friend Kelly that The Greatest Showman's amazing. So I was like, all right, we'll get to it eventually. And we did watch it this time. And first song came on, and I was like, all right, that fucking song was good.
It's a fucking banger.
And then the second song came on, and I was like, it's not going to be as good. And it was fucking good. And the third song was fucking good. The fourth song,
it's a good movie. It's a good movie. It's Hugh Jackman in his fucking element.
Oh, man. The cast is amazing. The sets are amazing. I don't want to get too much into it because it might be an August pick. But we'll see. But, so yeah, Greatest Showman was one that we watched recently. And then I'm up to date on all my shows. I'm up to date on Obi-Wan. I'm up to date on Stranger Things. And I'm up to date on The Boys.
And I'm not up to date on
yes, and Tyler's not up to date on any of them. So I'm not going to talk too much on them.
Talking right now.
But if anybody
he's going to be a solo podcaster real soon.
If anybody who's listening wants to talk about any of these things with me, like I'm trying not to post anything on the social medias as well because I don't want to spoil anything for Tyler.
No, not just me. There's people that don't listen to. You can't just be posting shit left and right for the people.
Yeah, I care about you more than I care about them.
Well,
them.
The people. I'm happy to be the savior of the people to stop you from this spoiling tyrant that sits across from me.
It wouldn't be spoiling it. Look, I already feel like Stranger Things has lost traction because people have already watched it and they've moved on.
That's why I was dude, Obi-Wan and Stranger Things like dropping at the same time is beautiful because they both spoilered each other out and now they're both relatively off the internet. So I missed. I had to like stay off the internet for like a week.
I bet.
Now I've missed it all. It's awesome.
Well, Obi-Wan is a weekly release.
Yeah, I know, but it's a little bit easy harder. It's
easy to see something Star Wars related and keep scrolling.
Correct.
I do like Obi-Wan. I really liked Stranger Things, and I am loving The Boys, which episode 6.
Well, like I said, I'm
episode 7. I think
I'm excited for The Boys because they're doing my favorite storyline from the comics. So I'm like expecting
episode 6 is Herogasm. Yeah, they just had episode 4. Episode 6 is Herogasm. So something to look forward to.
So like so I'm already pretty excited for this season itself.
Yeah, it's fucking great so far. Sam is up on episode 2, so she's catching up as well.
I finished episode 2, so I'm
yes.
So we are. That's everything I've watched. I know I've watched more. Like I said, that I watched the Rogue Cut and stuff like that. But for new watches, it's those shows and The Greatest Showman. Have you watched anything at all?
Top Gun Maverick.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, I told me I almost wish we did like a review of that instead of Jurassic World.
I haven't seen it, but yeah.
I loved it.
I'm gonna get to
I
it.
really did, and I'm not a Top Gun guy. I'm not a Tom Cruise guy at all. Mm-hmm. And I found myself like literally like, goddamn, this movie like.
Well, if
more sequels were like that, cinema would be in a better place. Like it's so dumb to say, but like sequels have become so stupid to us. Of like, oh, it's just this is what a sequel is. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like when you make a true sequel that makes sense and feels like, oh, this is a continuation of a story. It hits so fucking hard and it's so good because it takes everything from the first one and like just builds on it, instead of using it to sell their product, they're just building on it like a real life event almost, like that would really happen to you when sequels happen in like your normal life, you know, when something happens, like a continuation of something. And Top Gun, they fucking nailed it on the goddamn head. It was, I can't recommend it enough. It was awesome. Like it's probably one of my favorite movies of the year. Like
I don't know if I'll see
easy.
it. I don't know if I'll see it in theaters, but
and it's also tough too because it's like it's also it is a good.
If our kids would watch it, we could go see it.
And I would buy that. I would buy that. It is. I will say it is a good theater movie just because of like the plane. You know, like the hearing of the fucking planes, the flying. Like I saw it on IMAX at Imagine. And it was a big fucking screen.
Yeah.
And like when you're dog fighting on a big screen, it's like, oh yeah, this is what like old school movies.
Yeah, I mean the sheer size of that screen with the size of the
you know what I mean? It's like when you're a kid and you go see one of those movies and you're like, oh yeah, these are when action movies were like not just like superhero action. You know what I mean? It's like this is fucking dudes flying planes at like very.
It's like seeing Armageddon
on
a big screen. Like, there's something different about it.
I will say it's a good movie. It is a good movie theater movie, but in general, like it's not a good sequel. It's a good fucking movie. Like
I think that if it
fucking good, movie.
If it stays in theaters a while, we'll see it because I know we're going to be seeing Lightyear this weekend.
Okay.
So
you'll have to tell me how that is.
Yeah. So
Friday night.
Friday we're going to be seeing Lightyear.
I want to see it, but I'm not going to theaters for that one.
That's fine.
And you don't want little Maddie running up and down the aisles and shit.
Yeah, those are the ones I try to avoid, or I'll go really late because I'm like, all right, well.
I forgot that I also watched Everything Everywhere All at Once. Oh, nice. And I told you about that and how I felt about that. And if anybody wants to get at me right now, I wasn't a big fan of it. But I did watch it on my phone, so it wasn't huge.
Yeah, he said he wants to give it a rewatch. I haven't seen it admittedly, but I've heard nothing but like this is the greatest movie of all time. Yeah. And I know it's like somewhat of like a time travel like esque type.
Just multiverse, not time travel, but multiverse. It's multiverse-ish.
Mm-hmm. So I figured that would be right up your alley. So I would be interested if you do rewatch it on like a bigger screen. If that
I am going to rewatch it, yeah.
Because I just can't believe that you weren't a big fan because I was like, oh, this is definitely your fucking alley. So
yeah, so I'll
there was a kiss in it.
Yeah. no, hilarious. He's starting to think like, you know what? It did start to go south after that scene.
Fuck you both. All right, how about that?
On that note,
anyways, yes. Tell them about what we're covering in our next episode.
All right, next episode, I'm gonna have to catch up because on June 27th we are gonna review Obi-Wan.
Yes,
we're gonna finally get into a Star Wars episode.
Yeah.
We've had many debates on how we want to do Star Wars and everything, and we figured
it's massive.
It's massive. There's no easy way around it, so we're just gonna jump into the thing that's like most topical right now and new, and everyone seems to be pretty much enjoying it for the most part and everything, so we're going to kind of dissect that, and I'm sure we'll touch on all things Star Wars in that a little bit, but mainly we're going to be focusing on the kind of review of the season of Obi-Wan, which ends on the 22nd. Yep. So that episode you can look for on the 27th.
Yeah, like Tyler said, we're gonna touch on a lot of things Star Wars. We're not gonna do a scene by scene type thing because it's fucking like it's 6 episodes and it would be.
No, I think it'll be more of like a general discussion.
Yeah, we'll hit every episode, correct. But like. Hey, I really like this about this episode.
Not a scene by scene of each episode, correct.
Yeah. But we'll get in depth about some things that we like. We'll talk about some of the new and older characters, the episode plots, and our likes and dislikes. Mm-hmm. And like Tyler said, that'll be on the 27th. In the meantime, if you guys want to listen to us, or if you guys want to watch us on YouTube, we have episodes on YouTube. Our fan casts, a lot of our episodes are on YouTube, and you could check out our reactions to everything. This episode will be on YouTube. And
give it a thumbs up. Give it a comment if you can. Anything.
Subscribe
helps. Yeah. Share if you're feeling that crazy. You can share it. That would be wonderful. But yeah, liking, commenting, all of that helps quite a bit. Especially just like comments and feedbacks, even if it's just your opinions or like, hey, this sucks, or hey, that was cool, or hey, I disagree with this or that.
Negative.
All of that kind of just helps us know, A, you guys are liking what we're kind of giving to you, and B, you're interacting with us. So
if you don't like the
content,
sometimes
it's nice to just talk to people who know what the hell you're talking about,
Yeah. Which is why I also do, I'm on Facebook. I hang out a lot on Facebook. I post things, some of the things that we'd like to share in the nerd news, and some of the things we do share in nerd news, but we just want to hit up and have more conversations about it beforehand because we can't wait until our main episodes once a month. So, hang out on Facebook. You can check it out. Same with the YouTube. No Nerds Were Harmed. Just search it up and find us on there.
Yep. Same thing. I'm pretty not on Facebook. I'm not active on Facebook at all. But Twitter and Twitch. You can always come in, hang out, and chat, and talk about the podcast and shit like that. So
yeah.
Gambit the Goon. Yep. Twitter and Twitch. That's where you can kind of find me.
And then our Twitter is NNWH Pod.
NNWH Pod. And that's, again, Twitter helps. Twitter helps. Yeah. We do pools. We do them on Facebook too, but we do pools on Twitter. We try to interact quite a bit. And yeah.
Yeah. I like answering questions and finding... There's a lot of things on Twitter that... I'm new to the Twitter game, so I'm always finding something of people asking, like... I like going into other people's polls.
Yeah, no,
like,
yeah, exactly.
Do you like this character or this character? I'm like, fuck it, this character for sure. Like, no,
it's
also
cool.
just getting our name out there.
Yeah, it's fun. Like I said, I think Twitter is probably like the most casual way of seeing kind of what we're doing in a day-to-day, like commenting on and just nerdy shit we're talking about.
Yeah. And then if you guys don't want to check us out on Facebook, you don't want to go Twitter, you don't do YouTube, you could listen to us.
Anywhere you can get podcasts, anywhere, Spotify, Apple Music, all that stuff, or Apple Podcast, I don't know what the hell they call them. At the Apple service.
Apple Podcasts,
yeah,
Spotify,
whatever
you want.
All that stuff has our podcasting, so we appreciate all the listens. Again, if you can like, share, follow, if it gives you a follow option, whatever. If you want notifications, you can turn those on too. We're trying to get more consistent with releasing stuff. Hopefully you guys have kind of figured out now our episodes are tending to come out on Mondays, other than Fancast Fridays, which is once a month. So we're trying to stick to that. So far, the schedule has been working out good. So again, though, you can always enable notifications, and you will know as soon as things drop.
Oh, yeah. That being said, we did mention that if anybody wants to review or if anybody wants to like or leave a comment or anything, I do want to say that I have an extra code for a video file of the Batman. So if anybody, the first person...
A digital copy,
yes, that's the word I was looking for. I have an extra...
It sounded kind of shady how you presented it there.
I was like, what the fuck am I doing?
I'm going to send you a bootleg copy of Batman if you answer our questions.
I have a redeemable digital copy of the Batman. If you guys have not seen it or you love it and you want a digital copy of it, you haven't purchased it, the first person to leave a review on Spotify or leave a review on Apple Podcast. I'm not talking about just stars. I'm talking about writing a review. I will give you...
Yeah, like a review, comment, like a good... You proved to us you've listened to like an episode and you're the first one to kind of throw it up there. You can get yourself a free Batman copy.
You can have the Batman. I will give it to you. That being said, that's all we have for you guys. I hope you enjoyed the episode. I had a blast on this episode talking about a movie that I semi-liked. And
same. It's more so the disappointment of just so much build-up and so much excitement, and then it just not being what you wanted it to be. It's always going to hurt a little bit. But it's fun. It's dinosaurs. It's Jurassic Park. It's Jurassic World. You can't go wrong.
That's right. But I hope you guys enjoy this episode. We will see you next time. Stay nerdy. I'm Maddie.
I'm Tyler. Catch you on the next one.